Oh, okay. Press the wrong button. Hold on one second. Minimize. Oh, crap. Give me 1 second. 1 second. I actually just closed out the wrong thing. Oh, crap. Hold on. 1 second. Be right with you. My bad. One moment. Jeez. Got too many computers, man. Starting to be a pain. Okay, let me go like that. Switch back. Sorry. Working. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then that is an Apple screen, which we can't have. I need to be able to see my face. Okay, there we go. All right, now we look better. Hi. How you doing? How you be? Top to the AB. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to get everything situated. Let me see. Oh, right. Bluetooth. Adder. Okay. I think we're good here. Alrighty. So, how everybody's doing? Hope everybody had a good day at work. Mine has been busy. Still busy. Talking to my mama, taking up all my time. I was like, Mama, look, I got to stream. I got to help some people. So, finally got some time. Hope everybody had a good day at work or whatever. And, yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. There will be some change-ups here coming up. Saturday and Sunday, I think I'm going to start taking those off and switching them to like gaming. I may do gaming, or I may just take off on those days, depending. That way it's kind of like a Monday through Friday kind of thing. That way I get some time off so that I can actually do other things, or make more content, because it's kind of hard to make content when you're streaming every day. So yeah, outside of that, that's pretty much all I had to say on that. So let's go ahead and get started here. Also, I made some nice British tea or whatever it's called, but let's do that. Turn that fan on and actually set this up right. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get started. Okay. Alrighty, so this is a repeat. This is from Big Bag or Bigabag. Bigabag. Bigabag was talking about computer crashes or reboots while playing intensive games. And oh yeah, they were saying Elden Ring, Slime Rancher 2, Outbound Ghost, and my PC will randomly crash in the middle of the game session, either rebooting. And I said, and he had mentioned his specs, and one of his specs ended up being that he had 4 monitors. Hey, and I said, bro, you have 4 monitors, but didn't list any of them. What resolutions are you running at? Are they all the same? Can you list the monitors? You may be oversubscribing your GPU if you are spanning across all monitors. Also, what's your definition of getting out of control? 2 are 1080p 60, 1 is 1080p 144, and 1 is 4K 60. Also, the temps don't seem to be getting above 80, so okay. 80's fine. Okay, so let's look at this. How many people have actually responded? It's just me and him talking. What's your power supply? Check right now, but I believe it's 1,000 watt gold, so should be fine. Okay, computer crashes or reboots while playing intensive games. Been trying to play a few games, and my PC will randomly crash in the middle of a game session, either rebooting or freezing, with all 4 monitors displaying dark, corrupted images, in which case I have to do a manual reboot. Had this problem for greater than 1 year, and I'm at my wit's end. Any advice? I've tried increasing my cooling, but I've been monitoring temps while playing games, and they don't seem to be getting out of control, so I have no idea what the problem could be. Well, let's see. He has a RTX 3070, and he has a Tomahawk X570 with a 5800X, and his, okay, so when it crashes, okay, so when it crashes, does it give him a blue screen? Computer crashes or reboots while playing intensive games, and my PC will randomly crash in the middle of a game session, either rebooting or freezing, with all 4 monitors displaying dark, corrupted images, in which case I have to do a manual reboot. Okay. So he has to do a manual reboot, which means that he doesn't get a blue screen of death. So he's not crashing per se. It's just that his screen images get dark. Okay. If you just had your one gaming monitor plugged in, does the screens crash or get dark as you mentioned? If you had just one gaming monitor plugged in, does that screen crash or get dark as you mentioned while playing intensive games? If it's fine, then try 2 monitors, then 3, and so on. So the thing with him is that he doesn't B-side. He doesn't blue screen of death. He just gets black screen, which makes me think that, or darkened screen, which makes me think that it's more so the graphics than anything. But I've never, it's rare that I run into people who run 4 monitors on graphics cards. Back in the day, that used to not even be possible. But it's not like it's not possible now. It's just that it's more of a pain in the butt than anything. So yeah, it was more so trying to figure out, like, if he goes down to 1 monitor, does he still have this issue? If he does not have this issue on 1 monitor, then somewhere around the 2, 3, and 4 mark, he may be having a problem, which means that he may have to swap out his cables to something else, try different inputs, things of that nature. But we'll know more once he actually replies to that one. That pretty much tells us everything that we need to know just from that. Well, it doesn't tell us everything that we need to know. It does point us in the right direction, though. So I'll take that. So yeah, big. For big. I hope that helps, man. Keep us posted. Alrighty, let me see. I think that tea's too hot right now. I put lemon in it, and I was like, man, I really want to try this out because it's like English breakfast tea with a little bit of caffeine and some lemon. And I just smell regular old tea. I don't smell lemon at all. The manual, it lied to me. Okay, so this is from Zuka? Kenshi. We'll go with Ken. Oh yeah, it's Kenshi. Kenshi writes, internet speed on PC drops to 0 for every few seconds. So I have absolutely no idea what's going on. Never had problems with this setup for 2-ish years, and today I started my PC to find my internet slowed to a halt and dropping to 0 every few seconds. Follow the tips here, okay? And while it fixed the problem with the speed, it still dropped to 0 every few seconds. Is this a sign of my wireless LAN stick dying, or what am I missing? Just that you can see what I mean. I downloaded a test file from cloud storage, and here's the network statistic. Okay. So he's using wireless AC. Yeah, 54, and then him going to 0 a lot. Yeah, that's more so. I mean, it's consistent too, which means that it's usually screaming about connectivity. He's on Wi-Fi, so yeah. And then Wi-Fi is very slow. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so I'm guessing he's already done a flush, a release, and a renew. More so the flush and the release. So he's already cleared his DNS. Um, mm, well, the thing with this is once you have a file transfer, in other words, once you have a flow going, there DNS is no longer used here, so you can't really say a DNS issue. It's too consistent. This right here, you would actually say more so along the lines of wireless signal connectivity, things of that nature. Out of every submission, posted a little fresh install in Windows. That's all the issue. Replacing the Wi-Fi card didn't help. That's a little strong, bro. I wouldn't say that. What I would say on this one here is so what I would say to this one is try to run a speed test while you are connected directly to the router. B, try to run a speed test while on Wi-Fi but next to the router. And then C, try to run the exact same speed test while on Wi-Fi but in your normal location. And compare. If the speed is dropping, the further away you are from the router, then try to reboot it. Also, if the Wi-Fi signal is equally weak, regardless of how far your laptop is from the router, then look for updates to your wireless card by right-clicking while in Device Manager and right-clicking in Device Manager and checking for updates. And check for updates. All right, so I'm sorry, that's my dryer. I'm not about to get up and stop that. It'll just do that once or twice. Okay, so what I would say to this is, one is try to run a speed test while you're connected directly to the router. Try to run a speed test while on Wi-Fi but next to the router, and then try to run the exact same speed test while on Wi-Fi but in your normal location and compare. If the speed is dropping the further away you are from the router, then try to reboot the router. Also, if the Wi-Fi signal is equally weak, regardless of how far your laptop is from the router, then look for updates to your wireless card by right-clicking while in Device Manager and checking for updates. Okay, that's what I would do. It's a little different than what I normally tell people, but it's only because of his signal and the consistency of which he's dropping. That usually means that his signal is bad because it's consistently dropping, like it's in intervals. So that usually means that his signal's weak, or his card is dying or something along those lines. Alrighty, Kinshi, I hope that helps, man. Keep us posted. I'll probably see you tomorrow. All right, cool, 0. All right, so this is from Valix_Modern Warfare. Valix writes, Windows 11, my taskbar is like 40% off my screen, and it's really annoying as I can't see some stuff. Okay, I don't even think y'all can hear that. Oh, sorry, my dryer going off. My taskbar is like 40% of my screen, and it's really annoying as I can't see some stuff. Hi, I have 2 monitors exactly both the same. On my left monitor, the taskbar is completely normal, and my main monitor is almost half of my screen going too much down. Please help me, it's really annoying, and also I'm not sure if it's just the taskbar or the monitor itself. Thanks. Oh, well, the taskbar can be shrunk or moved. When you hold it down, allow you to move it. When you move the cursor to one of the top lines of the taskbar, when you move the cursor to one of the top lines of the taskbar, does it give you the option to shrink it? If not, right click and go to taskbar settings to change it. Also, if nothing above fixes it, then more than likely you have a resolution / scaling problem and may need to zoom out of your display. This can be done by going to the display settings and changing the zoom range. Yeah, so when it comes to taskbar showing 40% of your screen, there's only two real reasons why that happens. The first reason is if the resolution is weak. So like, for example, if your other monitor is 4K and then the other one is 1366 by 768, you're gonna run into that problem. Just because it's too big, or it made it so the resolution is so low that and it's zoomed in, so it's making the bar look really big when it's really not. So you can either try to lower it and make it smaller, or you can try to move it around, or you can change the resolution to something better so that you don't have that problem, or just zoom out. So that's pretty much how you would troubleshoot that. All right, Valix, I hope that helped. Okay, give me 1 second here. That's not as good as I hoped it would be. Just tastes like bitter tea, like tea, not like green tea. Okay, whatever. I'm a little disappointed, but I'll let it go. All right, so NR200 with 240mm AIO and MSI RTX 4080. I really do like these fans here, even though I always thought they put a little turbulence on it. But I mean, it's not going to be too much turbulence because, well, there's no graphics card behind it. So it should be okay with what it's doing because it gives you that extra airflow across the motherboard and the PCBs and stuff like that. But that actually is a really nice build, though. The GPU sag is triggering my OCD. Yeah, that little sway there, that is kind of annoying. Yeah, I have since fixed it with a temporary brace, but unfortunately GPU brackets that came with the card didn't fit in the case. Yeah. If you have access to a 3D printer, this bracket I made for my case may work for you as well. Oh. A 3D bracket. Okay. Oh. That's nice. That would actually work pretty well. And that's a Red Devil 6900 XT. Oh, okay. Nice. Thermals on the GPU are great and rarely exceed 61 degrees. Yeah, the 4090 is really cool. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. Why is it bad? I would at least thought it would be a little good, but it's not even that. Ugh. The two Knoxville Slim fans on the bottom actually had to be moved to the reverse side of the case bottom since the GPU is so big. Still, the NR200 never ceases to amaze me. CPU is a 5800 X3D and 32 gigs of RAM and 3600 megahertz. Yeah, NR200 is a really nice case. It's just so fat. I just cannot with fat cases. But it is clean. Oh, and it has the same little pinouts as the Meshalicious, where you kind of just push them in. But I mean, nice build, bro. Congrats. Nice build, bro. Yeah. Teamwork. Camaraderie. Only reason why I'm drinking this is because it has caffeine. Outside of that, I would have given up a long time ago. All right, break's over. All right, cool. Clash and Siege. Okay, so this is a repeat. Green screen during launch of any graphics demanding game. My GPU is the ASRock Radeon C700 XT. Should I replace my card? Tried installing drivers and all that, but nothing has changed. When I launch the game, my GPU spikes to 100, then my PC screen goes black and brings me to Windows 11 lock screen. Sometimes I get a green screen flash right before everything shuts off. I said, well, it sounds more like your card is overheating. What happens when you try to launch a game while your CPU case door is open? Does the temp still hit 100 degrees Celsius? Everything else is just symptoms of a hot card. I have a 3060 I just bought from Best Buy, installing GeForce Experience right now. I'll let you know if problem persists. Hopefully I can install these drivers properly. I hate that. 6700 XT versus a 3060 is pretty equivalent. So I mean, but at the same time, you know, if he installs those drivers and he still has the issue, then he can probably get his money back, because 6700 XT is pretty comparable to a 3060. Oh God, no. Oh man. All right, Clash and Siege. That's the way I feel about it. I mean, there's nothing to really say here, but keep us posted. Okay, keep us posted. Wow, that is so bad. Green tea was so much better. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, sat splitter. Okay, sure. I don't know what that is, but I'll find out. Crosssticks writes, will a satellite splitter be the solution for having two sorted channels on my TV? Our TV, LG OLED 48-inch, has a main and sub input for satellite. We have one satellite cable, not unicable, configured with DISEQC 1.0, which receives the two channels we want, Astra and Eurosat Hotbird. When the TV is set up for blah, 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 we also receive both channels, but they are not sorted. And it seems there is no way of automatically sorting them. Will I be able to get a SAT splitter, put the two cables in main and sub, and then have a main Astra, for example, on the sub Hotbird? If you have any idea to what other subreddit I could post, I would be glad to hear it. No, I don't think you can. I don't think it'll let you do that. You're talking about trying to basically take an antenna signal and then split it and plug it into both parts, the main and the sub of the back of the TV. I don't think you can do that. Let me see. Let me look at this guy. Inputs. Why do you keep drinking it? Why? Oh, goodness gracious. Here, let me just actually do manual. Sure, I'll look at the manual for you, bro. I got your back, Wody. 48C 2 LA. 48C 24 LA. Well, that works. User guide. There we go. I'm literally not about to go through this whole user guide. I'm just going to try to search it. View manual in PDF form. Sure. Oh, that's an ad. That's an ad. Run. Ugh. Ugh. Oh my God. It's so many ads. Bro, I'm just trying to get to page 2. Okay. Can I just search? Oh my God. No. Wow. I'm not about to do this whole thing for him. Satellite. Though I do like this. How to operate TV, enjoying live TV, connecting to the network, managing your LG. Come on, just tell me the page, man. I just need to know the page for the location of the information, connecting external devices, IoT, sharing PC content, making the most of the smart TV, settings, picture, sound quality, AIO. No. You know what? So with this one, I found the manual that may point you in the right direction for this. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just messing with the problem with messing with Macs and then switching to a Windows PC is that when you copy paste, it goes from Control V to Windows V and vice versa. So it's really annoying. So with this one, I found the manual that may point you in the right direction for this. As to if it would work, I cannot say, but I doubt it. But I've also never tried before, so there's that. Hope that helps, bro. Yeah, I'll just point him in the right direction. I'm not about to sit here and do that. That's too much work. Okay, yeah, that's just way too much. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Let's see. SAT splitter. Okay. Alrighty, so this is from Scared Snail. Oh, sorry. Ugh. It tastes like some of the filter is in there, or some of the. It's bad. It's not good. Scared Snail writes, someone is sending me screenshots of my PC and bank data. Wow. Pretty much title. A guy on Discord came to me showing me screenshots of my PC and bank data, and he's asking for money or else the usual stuff. I have an important project on my PC. Question is, has he gotten it already? Will moving that project to an external drive and formatting my PC be useful? The virus could move to that drive, so I don't know what to do now. I disconnected my PC from the network, so I guess he can't do anything anymore. Is my phone also in danger since it's on the same network? Should I be scared? What measure should I take? Is the project in danger? Okay. Well, typically, when this happens and they show you bank/PC data, it's usually quite old. Do you remember the date of which the pirated data was for? I don't know how to say pirated. Pirated. There we go. Pirated data was for. Also, I'd say to run Malwarebytes on all your PCs and drives, including your cell phone, in case it jumped. Let's say run Malwarebytes on all your PCs and drives, including your cell phone, in case it jumped. The virus can move to that drive, so I don't know what to do now. Well, typically when this happens and they show your bank PC data, it's usually quite old. Do you remember the date of which the pirated data was for? Also, I'd say run Malwarebytes on all PCs and drives, including your cell phone, in case it jumped. Is there anything else I want to say to this? Screenshots of my PC and bank data. That's pretty much what I do. And finally, once you clear every drive, including the drive you want to move your files to, then wipe it. Then files to, move the files to the spare drive and wipe the computer. Wipe the computer. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would essentially it's usually behind though. So if somebody sends you some information saying, hey, I got your bank data and stuff like that, what you always want to do is you want to look at the timestamp or like when it happened, because it may just be like, for example, it may be September and it may be from like March. So he's like super behind. So that lets you know just how far behind he really is. So all you have to do is remove your computer off the network, run malwarebytes on everything, including all your external drives and any drives that you want to move something to, as well as download malwarebytes for your phone and run it on your phone as well. If it's an iPhone, you may be okay. If it's Android, though, I'd go ahead and run it. And then once you get done with that and you make sure that all drives have been cleaned and checked with malwarebytes, then you want to move all your files over to the new drive, the temporary drive that you want to move all your files to, and then wipe the computer. That's how you usually handle this particular situation because it's a clean slate. First step, go in person to your bank and get your login details, change and ask them to watch your for any suspicious. Oh, that's a good idea too. I was thinking that he got his bank data from his PC, not that he went to his bank and got his bank data, or he logged into his banking account and got his information. That's the reason why I never thought of that. If he did, the smart move would be to just take the money. No. Next, backup any critical. I don't think he had it. I think he has your bank data because you had like a PDF that had one of your banking document files and he grabbed it off of your computer. That's what I was thinking. I don't think he logged into your bank itself because most bank accounts, in order to log into it, is usually two-factor authentication. It is hard to get around that. Typically, when somebody is trying to basically intimidate you with information that they have from your computer, it's information they have from your computer. They didn't go to anything else. They didn't log into all those accounts because a lot of them are two-factor. In other words, it would have prompted you or alerted you because it would have went to your phone and pinged you saying, hey, do you want to validate this login? And you would have known something was up. So they don't even try. A lot of times they'll just straight up go into your computer and then just grab the information from there and then show you that. What I was thinking to myself, and the reason why I laughed is because I feel like I'm giving away all the hacker secrets. But yeah, typically if they show you something, it's older, and then on top of that, they rarely ever go anywhere else because they're afraid that two-factor authentication may hit, and if it does, then you'll be alerted that somebody else is trying to log into your account. Therefore, you change your password. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those kind of situations. Next, backup any critical data, reinstall OS. He's right. Install proper antivirus. Your phone is probably fine, but I recommend changing passwords. These are the steps I would follow. Potentially dumb question. Did you ever screen share either with this user or a mutual channel and forget to stop sharing? As another commenter said, even given they are asking for money, they probably don't have access to your account, but potentially you logged into your banking while streaming. Still follow all of the advice. By the way, reinstall Windows, speak to the bank account, etc. That would suck if you stream and you actually logged into your bank account. That's awful. That's why on mine, you see mine are always in like these incognito windows. So still follow all the above steps. Yeah. Either is fine. Whether he follows me or him, they all pretty much say the same thing. My nose. The only reason why I'm telling you to run malwarebytes first is because you had to get your files off so that you can wipe it. Outside of that, though, that's all I would do. I would literally, to protect myself, that's usually, okay. All right, so, okay, story time, all right? So there was this game I used to play. It's called Mew Online, right? And I used to have multiple accounts. And Mew Online is a game where if you put money into the game, you get the same amount of money back. So if you put your money into the game and, and you buy something that's really expensive and rare, well, like 6 months down the line, you can probably pull that money right out of the game. That's the way it worked, right? If you were high level. So I had one of the highest level accounts. I had multiple of them. I had like 8 or 9 accounts. So I never had been hacked before because my passwords were always crazy long. So it was always like 20, 24 characters, stuff like that. So one day I ended up, one of my accounts, my a healer account, and my healer account is one of my favorite accounts. If y'all know anything about me, I always play healer. I'm a healer main. So the fact that they attacked my healer hurt me the most, even though my healer had the weakest gear. But they hacked my healer and took all her gear. And then on top of that, tried to sell it back to me on the market. I was hot. Oh, it was hot. So they hacked my account, took my gear. I logged into my character, and by the time I logged into my character, she was naked. She didn't have no wings. She didn't have no armor. Everything was gone, right? So I was like, okay, so somebody got into my account, and then I started going back through it, and I had tried to log into another version of the game. Like they have beta versions. I tried to log into the beta version. I used the exact same username and password that I used in the beta version. That's how I think they got that account. So I was like, oh, that's crazy. I should never have used that same account username and password on this beta account. So I changed my password to something crazy long, and I forgot about it. I left it alone. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then I was still mad and everything like that. And every like week right before maintenance, I would always change my password every single time. All right, like a month goes by. He hacks me again on the same elf, on my healer, same character. He hacks me again. Now I'm like, okay, something's going on. So somehow he's gotten my account, because there's no way he can brute force that fast, right? Because for him to brute force that fast, he would have had to have guessed my password within a week, because I'm changing my password right before the maintenance, right? So I was like, okay, he had to have done something. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I have something on my computer. So I run malware on all my computers and all the computers that I use to lock her in. On top of that, I don't lock her in on my main computer anymore. I log her in on my laptop, okay? So I started logging her in my laptop. I kept changing my password, ran malware on my computer. It found a few things, and it may have already fixed it because of malware, but I was too paranoid at this point, because he just robbed me twice, right? He robbed me. I got stuff back on her, other stuff that was weaker than what she had, but she still has some stuff so she can actually do things. And he robbed me again, right? So he didn't rob me twice now. And most people knew my background. They knew I was security and all that kind of stuff. So they knew my background. So it would make it even worse, right? That I would get hacked by somebody, and I'm the one who teaches people about how to prevent themselves from those kind of people. So this man didn't hack me twice, right? So my whole guild, everybody's getting into it, right? So it's a huge deal. All guilds know about it. Everybody's into it. It's a huge problem. So now I only log into my EE on a different computer entirely. I don't even log them into my main computer. I was logging them into my tablet or something. So I let it. So over like 3 months or whatever, I constantly kept changing the password, only logging into that computer, changing the password, only logging into that computer, so on and so forth. He hacks me again. The third time he hacks me. So he hacks me again, and I was so doggone hot. I didn't have anything on the account because I learned my lesson from the second one, right? So I didn't have anything on the account except for like rings and stuff. So he hacked me. Hacker was he was on my ass, man. I've never had a hacker on me like this. He hacked me a third time, bro. At this point, I'm a scientist. Y'all know me. I'm a diagnostician. At this point, I'm in awe. I'm literally in awe. I'm like, how is this man hacking me? Whatever he's doing, he is excellent. And so now I'm going back through my notes and my settings and things that I've done to try to figure out exactly how he's hacking me. And I was like, how on earth is this man able to get past my passwords changing? He wasn't. What he was doing was he basically had changed my authentication method. So if my two-factor authentication was going to him, but I never knew it, because when I log in, it auto logs me in. So even when I moved it over to my tablet had logged into my EE before, or my elf before, my healer before. So it already had those settings. So when I logged in, it auto logged me in. When I logged in here, it auto logged me in. And I didn't have it set to disable geolocation from different areas. So when he logged in, or whenever I authenticated, it would send him information saying that I logged in. So he knew about my information. So it wasn't that he was brute forcing. He was just doing a two-factor authentication in order to log into the account. But he was so smart about it because he would never do it back to back. He was doing it 1 month, and then he waited 2 months, and then he waited 3 months. And by the time he did that 3 months, I was ready to quit. I was so in awe, and I had so much respect for this cat. I saw him in the market selling my gear. I'm sitting here praising the man for being able to steal from me, because I was like, you a bad man if you steal from me. I'm talking about my passwords were like 22 characters, but it didn't matter because he was using two-factor authentication to get to it. He would basically log in and would try to log in, and then he would basically reset the password, but he wasn't resetting the password. Like, he was just logging in and then having it send the password over there to put in the PIN, and that logged him in. So he was just kind of going around the whole password, so I would know that he was logging in. Oh my God. That was the smartest hacker I have ever met in my entire life. I was impressed. He was like, oh, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're talking about. I already had this gear. I had some of the rarest gear in the entire game. There's nobody on earth who had my gear but this man. So obviously he took it from me. So we all knew. So nobody was buying the gear because we all knew who it was, because like it was like crazy stuff that you couldn't make. So it was like, you know, like the wings can go from +1 to +15, right? It was +14. So either somebody would try to go to +15 or they try to go to +0. Nobody would stay at +14 but me. So everybody knew who gear it belonged to. So it was, oh my God, that's probably the only time that I've been hacked so badly that I just had respect at that point. Like I was just in awe of how good he was. And I just, ever since then, I've always been very, very meticulous about my accounts. That's the only reason why after that I switched to NordPass, which is like a place that holds all your passwords, and then it gives you passwords that's all 20 something characters. Like they're all random. And I changed all my characters' passwords and I put it in NordPass, never had a problem again. So yeah, that's the whole reason why I use NordPass. So if anybody asks you why I use NordPass now and I pay them whatever for the year or whatever, that's why, because I got hacked by some dude 3 times and I'm sure I'm somebody's trophy somewhere. He has me on a trophy, like, because that man hacked the living hell out of me. I've never been hacked so badly. And he was so patient. That's what probably made me so mad. Usually when somebody hacks you, they may come back, but it's like a few days later. This man, we like literally, first time he hacked me, then he waited a month, then he waited 2 months, then he waited 3. Like I was just like, look, at this point now, I could only be in awe, like how patient he was in hacking me. I'm still mad about it. Still mad. But that's the whole reason why I use NordPass now, because I don't play with that game. All my passwords are complicated. I don't have any easy passwords. Surprised you didn't get an email about the change. Nah, I didn't. For some reason, it never told me that he was trying to log in via 2-factor authentication. I don't know why, but what would have blocked him if I would have logged into the account and then set up geolocation? That's the only thing that would have, but I don't know if it would even block him, because all he had to do was connect to a VPN in the United States and he would have never had that problem. But yeah, he was waiting for me to gear back up. That's exactly what happened. I think he was looking at because everybody can see my characters. Everybody know who I am, right? So I think he was looking away from my character to gear up, and then he went back in and hacked me again. I was like, this man here, look, bro, if I hit you, if I see you in the street, man, I'm swinging on you. I'm letting you know right now, I'm swinging. I'm not gonna ask no questions. If I see you, I'm swinging. Like that right there is probably the worst time I've ever been hacked in any video game ever. I mean, it was just back to back to back. And it just made me look so bad because everybody knew my background. And it was just, that was embarrassing. It was embarrassing and I was in awe. It was just, woo, okay. Now my blood pressure is up. So yeah, that was terrible. But yes, malware, this is what I would do. I would literally basically wipe your computer. But before I wipe your computer, I'd clean it first and then clean the drive that you got plans on moving your stuff over to. Move the stuff over to the drive and then wipe it. But yeah, don't play games with people with malware. You think you know better and you think you're smarter than them, you're probably not. They do this. Like we do this right here, this troubleshooting, they do that. They literally specialize in hacking others. So if you're not a specialist in hacking others, you're not going to be as good as them. It doesn't matter if you know how to do blocks and I'm not gonna hush. Like it doesn't matter how good you are in blocking and protection and stuff like that. You don't hack. I'm not a hacker. I'm not an ethical hacker either. They are very, very good at their crafts if you get certain good ones. So yeah, don't play with them boys. Them boys do this for fun. I do this for fun, but they do this for fun. They do this just to see the world burn. I don't do this for the world burn. I just do this to see the world build. Two totally different things. So yeah, that is my story. And yeah, now I'm mad. Now I'm upset. I'm ready to break this glass. I'm so angry. I don't even play that game no more and I'm still mad. Okay, let me see if I can calm down. But yeah, scared snail. That's exactly what I would do, man. Be careful. Yeah, he taught me exactly, bro. Like now you be lucky to see me with a password that isn't 20 characters. Like every password, 24 characters random. I couldn't even tell you what they were. I had no idea. I mean, it has all kinds of special characters. Like I do not play anymore. Like if you hack me, you a bad man at this point. Cause I mean, I'm talking 20, 24 characters. Everything is random. Everything is changed all the time. Oh yeah. I don't play games no more. once I got my ass kicked, everybody got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And I'm sitting here thinking I'm all this, I'm all that, I got this and that, and I'm helping people and I have security in my background. Nah. When you run into somebody who do that stuff for fun, you ain't ready. You ain't ready. That's like going against somebody who literally fights his whole life and you just know how to fight because you studied it. That's exactly what happened. I thought that I knew how to fight because I studied it in school. Nah, fam. This man grew up fighting. He do this every day. This is what he do. This is who he is. Nah, he about to get torn up. He kicked my ass for 3 months straight. So many L's. So yeah, no. I don't play with people with malware, man. I run malware bites and I wipe. I don't play them games no more. Okay, I'm calming down. Okay. Whoo. Okay. That's what happened though. So if y'all wanna yeah, I'm sure I'm on his trophy wall somewhere because that was one hell of a hack. And it didn't even alert me, bro. It didn't even alert me. But the game is like super old, so I get why it probably didn't alert me, but oh my goodness. That was a bad man. I thought I was a bad man? No. That was a bad man. When it comes to hacking, that's a bad man. So if you ever run into that cat who's patient enough to wait 3 months to hack you, yeah, don't play games with him. Just wipe. He's not gonna get you your stuff back. He's not gonna unencrypt your drives. He's just gonna hack you. And he's gonna harass you for about 3 months straight patiently. So don't play with them cats. Them cats right there, they'll take your money and they'll keep on rolling, bro. Just let it go. All right, so this is from Math Specialist 7. Final step of a 2K build, smash the temper. Oh my God. Okay. Story time again. Okay. Let me see how I'm gonna do this. All right. So I've been broke for a real long time when I was a kid, right? I used to live in apartments my whole life. Okay. I didn't get my own property until I was like 29, right? 29, 30, something like that. All right. So when I first bought my first property, right? My only property at the time, but I never knew anything about building or anything like that. Like there were no men in my family, right? So I never learned how to build or hardware or anything like that, right? Or refrigerators and kitchens and cleaning and any type of manly job. I had no idea. My skill set was computers, and I would trade my skill sets to people who did like automotive and stuff like that. So if I needed my car fixed, I'd fix their computer, they fixed my car. That's kind of how we rolled, right? So we would just trade skills. So I never actually learned those particular skills like car and repair and hardware and stuff like that, right? So I got my first property and I was like, okay, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to fix it up. I'm gonna try to put a new refrigerator, new oven, stuff like that. So I go in. I don't even use measuring tape all that often, right? So I try measuring and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, cool. So my refrigerator needs to be this size. My stove needs to be this size, right? So I replaced my refrigerator, my stove, and my range hood, right? And so they came in with the stove, and they came in with the refrigerator, right? So originally they came in with the refrigerator, and then they came in with the stove, but they left it in the kitchen. And they were like, yeah, we're just going to put this in the kitchen. We're going to take the old one out because you asked us to, and we'll go ahead and give you a discount because it wasn't a new stove, but it was a pretty good stove. So they took the old stove out, put the refrigerator in, and put the stove in the kitchen. So all I had to do was just slide it in. Because they were putting the refrigerator in and they didn't want to, they were trying to get the stove out and they had to leave or something like that, right? So I was left to put the stove in the slot. So they gave me the stove. I tried to put the stove in the slot, right? But it wouldn't fit. It was a little off. It was like almost like an inch off, right? Because the refrigerator, the size of the refrigerator, the way I measured it, I thought it was like right there, but I never gave it any room. So I measured exactly what it was. So there was no space between the refrigerator and the stove to get this stove in. So I was like, well, I can maybe shimmy it in, right? And kind of push the refrigerator up towards the wall and maybe shimmy it. So I tried to shimmy it in, right? Until I got to a point where it wouldn't go any further. So I was like, okay, well, it's like halfway in at this point. So I was like, well, I got to finish it. So what I ended up doing was, so the kitchen is like this. It's like a lawn, right? On this side here is the kitchen and the sink and the cabinets, right? And on this side is the refrigerator, the stove, and like the cabinetry where the microwave is, right? So I basically jumped up on the kitchen sink and tried to use my feet to push the stove in spot, right? And so I kept pushing it with my feet, trying to put the stove into the slot, and it started going in. I was kind of shimmying it in, and just when I got it all the way in, pop, it broke, it shattered, and glass went everywhere. It freaking exploded. Glass hit me on my leg and cut me up. It went everywhere, and all that was left was a sheet of cotton. what a glass stove used to be. Glass was everywhere. I destroyed that oven, and I didn't even realize that it could pop like a diamond. But apparently, if you put too much pressure on that stove, that front part where you open it up for the oven, it'll pop like a cherry or something. Like, it was bad. It was glass everywhere. There is still glass into my kitchen to this day that I cannot find because of what happened. So I get this. I 100% get this. But yeah, I don't think anybody was as dumb as I was that day. I had no idea what the heck I was doing. But now I know if I'm measuring a refrigerator and a stove to give it like a 1-inch space so they can actually go in together. Back then I didn't know. I was just measuring to measure. But I didn't know at the time. You live, you learn. But yeah. Man, what's up with these stories? Stop. Me and these story times, man, I'm just getting up. All I'm doing is making myself angry of just the stupid stuff I've done. But yeah, that cost me $1,000 real quick. Because then I had to buy another stove that was smaller that could fit into that little corner. So now I'm sitting here with a smaller stove and a big refrigerator. The things I've done some dumb things. So I get this. I get this 100%. Yeah, so a smashed tempered glass, bro. Yeah, I get that, bro. 90% of the comments are about the GPU. Oh yeah, it's kind of down there, bro. It's not, you're gonna have a smashed CPU real quick. I mean, there is no ventilation. That's right. That right there is the PCU or the PC. Oh my God, PSU. And on top of that, that fan is gonna probably be facing upwards. So that means that graphics card is getting suffocated. You got to move that graphics card, bro. It's accurate because the GPU placement causes much more physical pain than the broken glass. That is 100% true. That graphics card, that's painful, bro. Yikes. Ugh. I see the glass, but my eyes are focused on the GPU. Move it up a few slots, bro. I was gonna say after you clean the glass, but that's not funny. So I'll just say that. Yeah, that's harsh, man. Jesus. But yeah, I know this feeling. I know this feeling when glass goes everywhere. That's exactly what mine looked like, except it was on the floor in the kitchen and it was like 4 times as much because them stoves are huge. And yeah, just if you ever build or try to set up a kitchen and you're setting up a refrigerator or stove, give it like 1 inch between them so that you have some room to wiggle it in, because if not, you're gonna do what I did and feel real stupid once it pops. I didn't even know an oven can pop, but apparently it can. So yeah, I guess it's almost like turn it into sand when you're like putting so much pressure on it and it just pop. That was it. So yeah. Story time. Wow, it's just so frustrating. I'm half mad and I'm sitting here still going. All right, I need an issue so I can focus, because I'm just gonna get angrier and angrier the more I think about all the stupid stuff I've done. Okay. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, I'll never do that again. Jesus. Okay. So this is from BQK Lawa Baklawa. Okay, whatever. We'll go with Lawa. Lawa says they're having ping problems. Okay, my ping keeps randomly going to 1,000 plus after every few games of Valorant, and I have to restart my PC to get it back to normal pings. I never had this problem when I played my old PC, and I don't know why. Any ideas? Yeah, but you haven't given us any information. So, are you playing wireless or wired? Last time we said that, somebody asked, what do you mean by wireless or wired? Playing on Wi-Fi or plugged directly into the router. So are you playing on Wi-Fi or plugged directly into the router? If you are on Wi-Fi, plug directly into the router to see if that resolves the issue and let us know. Smiley face. No, not smiley face. Period. That way you know we mean business. But yeah, you can go further if you wanted to. I wouldn't be mad if somebody went further and started saying, okay, yeah, more than likely you may need power line and stuff like that. You could go that route, but I don't really want to go too far with it because it may be kind of a situation where, you know, he's on Wi-Fi, he plugs it in directly, it fixes it. Maybe he might need to update his router. And updating this router may fix his Wi-Fi or maybe plug his computer up closer or something like that. So in case it's the little stuff that it could be, which is probably like a 10% chance, maybe 15% chance, then I'll rather just stop here and just let him tell us where to go. Yeah, you can go with this, try to restart the router if you wanted to. Yeah, I mean, you can do that and check to see if there's any unnecessary apps running. If you're on Wi-Fi, try switching to Ethernet. Oh, well, we said the same thing. Okay. Check to see if there's any QoS. Okay, I'll explain this. So a lot of times, a lot of the gaming routers have what's called quality of service or QoS, where basically it gives priority to certain traffic flow. Typically, it gives priority to gaming traffic over other types of traffic. Generally, it can notice that you're playing a game depending on where you go. So before the actual connection gets encrypted, you actually can see in the header where you're trying to go, and therefore it can basically create a precedence where this traffic takes precedence over all your other type of traffic. So yeah, it's a possibility that may be happening, but some routers have it, some don't. But that's essentially what quality of service does. Quality of service gives precedence to certain types of traffic depending on the traffic flow that you choose. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. I don't really think that's what's going on here. Because even if it was, all it really does is kind of speeds up his traffic depending on what he chooses and slows down his traffic depending on what he chooses. But he's saying going to 1,000 plus after every few games of Valorant, which means that this is happening, but it's not as consistent as if QoS happens all the time. So there's no turn off for it. It's just on. So I don't think that would be it. I think he may just have straight up wireless problems. So I'll just play it like that and keep it cool and see what he says. All right, Lava. I'm not even gonna try to butcher your name, bro. Keep us posted. I'll probably see you tomorrow. All right, so this is from Happy Drag. Ooh, it's so pretty. This is the NZXT. I'm not sure which version of the NZXT it is, but everybody can tell it's that NZXT because of that little white band that's going through it. I've never seen a white AIO. I would like to have one, but I keep going for Krakens because that's all that's at Micro Center. And so, and on top of that, I've taken the light bar off of my memory because it wouldn't fit in the Dan Case A4SFX because the memory was too tall. Like the DDR5 memory is actually taller than DDR4 and 3. So I had to take the heatsink thing off and I haven't putting it back on yet. So because of that, all my memory is like really dull instead of being all lit up and I'm not as pretty. But I still have them, but it's too much work to try to put it back on. So yeah, but I would like to have an all white out PC. That would be so sweet. The pump is definitely lower. Oh, yeah, he had a question. AIO tubes in upper position, is this okay with tubes from the pump facing up? No, because your air bubbles will actually be down here instead of, typically you want this to be reversed and then go up. Or actually, you would actually want it to, well, it's not great. The pump is definitely lower than top of radiator. Yeah. I agree with them. The pump is yeah. It's not ideal. Ideally, you would want to flip the pump. Yeah, you wouldn't want to flip it. You wouldn't want it like that, but I get it. Like mine is, that can happen depending on certain situations. But what'll end up happening is you start getting bubbles in the line, and once you get bubbles in the line, it starts hitting that pump and it starts creating noise. So I have another Kraken that does that too, so I get it. But yeah, it's okay, but not ideal. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but I get it, bro. It happens a lot. Because sometimes it's very hard to get cables that are the right size, and a lot of times they're always the wrong size, so you always run into those kind of situations. Alrighty, new issue. Okay. Oh, speaking of which, I spoke with Folded Meat. Well, he hasn't replied back to me, but I told him what we talked about yesterday, where we were like, okay, well, if your frame rate, so Folded Meat, for anybody who's new to this, Folded Meat is a guy we've been working with for like 3 weeks now, and he basically I just removed the input, but essentially in Modern Warfare he gets like 10 frames, and we've tried everything with them, but we had the idea to uninstall the NVIDIA driver and let Windows install its driver, and just try playing the game like that, because anything is better than 10, right? So even without NVIDIA's driver, you should still get more than 10. So because we were thinking that maybe there's something in NVIDIA driver that's actually, or NVIDIA software that he may have turned on that's actually affecting him. So I'm waiting on him to give me a response back. I told him about that earlier today, but I haven't heard back from him. But when I do, then I'll put all this information back up and we'll go back over his issue. Okay. Updates on the 48 gig. Yeah, so that's our 48 gig guy. Exactly. So yeah, he just messages me directly. So we'll see what he says. But I'm waiting on him to try that, to uninstall everything with I told him to use DDU and just uninstall everything and then let it boot back up, and then when it boots back up, let Windows install the driver and then try Call of Duty and see what he gets. I'm hoping that fixes it, because I'm starting to run out of ideas. But this is from Boggins Gaming YouTube. Yeah, I so hope so, man. This man really wants to play Call of Duty. I've never seen it before, man. Usually somebody would have given up by now, but this man is persistent. He really wants to get his KD ratio up. So I get it. If you're in it to win it like that, man, I at least want to help. All right, so this is from Bogdan's Gaming YouTube. USB port on laptop doesn't recognize anything, but it sends out energy. What, you mean like into the ether? Hello, one of my laptop's USB ports has not been working. It's only USB 3 port. The laptop's the Asus i541U. I remember not having any problems with it when I bought it. That's actually not a bad laptop, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, fine. You got a picture, anybody? Anybody wants to give us a picture? Okay, no picture? Do you want to give us? You know what? Don't worry about it. We'll come back to you. Oh, I know what I can do. Images. There you go. That's it. That's the guy. It's kind of an older one, but I remember it actually being pretty decent. Okay. I remember not having any problems when I bought it. I tried everything I found on the internet that was turning off the fast startup, turning off USB selective suspend and power options, which is some great options, uninstalling and trying to update all USB related devices in Device Manager. I have a couple of clues on what this might be. My USB port on laptop doesn't recognize anything but sends out energy. When I plug in my mouse, its RGB turns on. Nothing changed when I did a clean install of Windows 10 11 on a different drive. In Device Manager Other Devices section, there are devices with the following names: PCI Data Acquisition and Signal Processing, PCI Memory Controller, PCI Communication Controller, SM Bus, and an unknown device. All of those devices have a tiny warning sign in their image. In my opinion, it has something to do with those devices. Otherwise, I'm clueless. It might just be damaged hardware, but I highly doubt it. Well, all of those ports, USB ports, don't recognize. USB port 1 of 3. It's the only USB 3 port. The laptop's the Asus. Okay, so it's the only USB 3 port. Okay, so it's the only USB 3, but does the USB 2 ports have issues? I would try to check online to see if there is an update for the USB 3 drivers. So he gets power out of the USB 3 but no data. It's possible it could be hardware or damaged pins on the USB 3 port, but you should try to update the drivers first to see if that makes a difference. You can also, I think he said he already tried to uninstall and trying to update all USB related devices in the device manager. Yeah, he already tried it, so I'm not about to say that. He already did that. But he never mentioned whether or not he went to the site. You try to update the drivers first. And what I mean by this, because obviously he's already done something similar. By going to the ASUS website and downloading the driver for USB 3. We may actually already be there for him. We can actually give it to him. Yup. He said UA, right? Windows 10. Realtek, chipset, wireless, card reader, ATK, Bluetooth, utilities, BIOS. Well, pointing device, ATK package, drivers and hotkey related utilities, multi-card reader, internal graphics, Intel serial IO controller driver, wireless, networking. Well, crap. He said UA, right? Yeah. Well, crap. I don't think it has one. What if I do other? Nothing. Okay. All right. Fine. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm sorry. Expand all. Qualcomm wireless, Realtek wireless. Okay, let me just try to do a search. USB. Asus USB charger plus. Quick charging for your portable. No, that's not it. Well, goodness gracious, he doesn't even have one. No. Crap. Then that means that what he's done is he's already done everything because there's no driver for it. But you should try to update. No, I can't say that. We already know it's not there. We didn't see a driver on ASUS's website for the USB 3 port. So you kinda have already done everything to test this. Unfortunately. Yeah, that's not a whole lot more we can do, bro. You've already tried to uninstall and reinstall the drivers, which is the only thing that you can do for USB 3 outside of going to the actual website to download the most up-to-date version of USB 3. But we've already checked. We know it's not there. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you when we just checked it. So the only thing you can say to try the USB 3 port in safe mode, but it's highly unlikely that it'll work because of safe mode. So you kind of have already done everything to test this, unfortunately. You can try the USB 3 port from safe mode, but I doubt it would make a difference, but it's worth a try. In other words, there's a possibility that there could be other software that's interfering with the USB 3 port, making it not work, but I seriously doubt it. We're talking about less than 1% chance, maybe less than 5% chance. It just sounds more like a hardware issue at this point. So the USB 3, okay, so it's only on the USB 3, but does the USB 2 ports have issues? I would try to check online to see if there's an update for the USB 3. It's possible it could be a hardware or damaged pins on the USB. Yeah, we didn't see a driver on ASUS's website for the USB 3 port, so you kind of already done everything to test this, unfortunately. You can try the USB 3 port from the safe mode, but I doubt it would make a difference, but it's worth a try. Yeah, that's all you can say on here. You can't say much. We've already done everything. We actually went, and he did a clean install of Windows as well, and he did an uninstall and reinstall of the drivers in Device Manager. There's nothing more we can do here. Unfortunately, I think he may be staring down the barrel of a hardware issue. Unfortunately, because there's not a whole lot more you can do here. So I'm sorry, gaming YouTube, but this is like 95% hardware at this point. And I don't think there's anything anyone can do. Yeah. Alrighty, fair enough. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Okay, so this is a repeat. All right, so this is significant mine. I'll keep talking until I remember what it was. PC isn't starting up correctly. when I turn on my PC from being oh yeah, this is the guy with the PC that kept going. Okay, so he has a PC that basically wouldn't start up correctly once it's coming back from sleep. He only runs into the problem when it's coming back from sleep, and he shuts it down completely and boots it back up, and that fixes the issue. So I said, yeah, this is power settings, start edit power plan, change it from balance to high performance, and disable the wireless adapter and USB selective suspension by setting them to 0. Also, you can set the turn off display to 0 to see if that resolves the issue as well. Plus, if you want, you can just turn off sleep while you're there too. When I change it to high performance and the apply button is grayed out, also can't seem to figure out how to turn the wireless adapter settings to 0. Grayed out? I've had this happen before. What happened with that? Yeah, you want to say group policy. You want to ask him if this PC is his own PC. Is this your PC or does it belong to your job? I don't want to say job. I don't want to disrespect the man. Career. My PC from being asleep. Why do I feel like I remember that? It being grayed out. Oh, also make sure the laptop is plugged in to see if it allows you to change the power policy. Also, you can make these changes in Device Manager by going to, I'm about to do this again, start Device Manager, network adapter, choose the wireless card and hit properties, then go to power management and turn off selective suspension. You can do this for the USB 3 ports as well from here too. Okay. Is this your PC or does it belong to your career? That sounds corny. Or does it belong to or is this your PC or is it your work PC? There we go. I don't like doing that, being like, oh yeah, is this your job? Like, some people have careers and I don't want to come across as whatever. It's this generation. Everybody's sensitive. So I'll be like, hey man, is that your work PC? Just call it that. I'm not about to sit here and be like, oh, is it a job versus career? I'm not trying to get in all that, man. I'm just trying to figure out if it's a work PC, call it a work PC and just move on. Because if it's a work PC, then I can explain why his power settings are like that. There's also something else, but it'll come to me while we are talking. But there was a situation where I've run into this where you try to go into the power settings and it's grayed out, but I can't remember for the life of me why it was like that. I thought it was because maybe it needed to be plugged into the power, but I don't think that's what happened. But it'll come to me. But it's not the biggest deal in the world because there's other ways to get to that power setting by going to Device Manager and just turning it off from there. So significant mind 8434, just go to Device Manager instead, bro. Let us know how that goes and let us know if that's your work PC because it may just be that. Hold up, you can get canceled for asking if it's a job or career. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible when trying to address people because it's like, man, look, I'm trying to make sure I'm as cancel free as possible. I'm only doing this to help people. I ain't asking for no money. I'm just trying to help and I enjoy helping and I want to build a community of people who help. That's what I like doing because I like diagnosing problems, but I'm not trying to get into career versus job and people getting upset because I said something wrong. Look, I'm just calling the work PC and I'm just going to leave it at that. So I'm just protecting myself. You never know who's on the other side of that. Just some money. Exactly. I'm trying to turn this into a nonprofit. There's no money here. So significant mind, man. I hope that helps. But generally, like what I've always noticed is like when I do stuff like this, it feels different than when you do it and you're getting paid for it. Because when you're doing it like this, you're just helping people and they know you're helping them and they know you're doing it for free. Whereas when you're getting paid for it, they have no such feelings whatsoever. They know you're getting paid for it, so they don't feel that way about it. And they're not polite about it. They like, okay, can you fix my issue? Yes or no? And they respect you based on how good you are with your skill set. Here, there's nobody to tell you yes or no. You can just not respond or tell them to, you know, not even try. This is all free. Like, we're all just trying to help. So because of that, you know, everybody is very, very respectful and helpful and nice. That's probably why I like this more than doing it for money. Because when you do it for money, you have to show them that you actually deserve that respect. Where here, they automatically respect you just because you're taking time out of your day to work their issue. So it's a different dynamic, but I do enjoy it. Alrighty, significant mind. Hopefully you're not a horrible person. Reply back to us. Learning and being entertained. I try. I'm starting to get the hang of this, man. I think the more I do it and every day that I do it, it gets a little bit more entertaining and I get more comfortable. Well, I was always comfortable doing this. It's just trying to do it consistently was always that problem. Because when you start doing it consistently, your skill sets start to fall off because you get more tired and fatigued because you're constantly talking and answering questions and stuff like that. But mixing it up with all this other cool stuff is pretty nice because I'll see something and I'll think of something that may have happened in the past without, you know, giving no names or anything. It helps a lot. Okay, this is from somebody who, okay, look, man, I don't get how people have no vowels in their names. Like, I'm sorry, but if you have LMMQ, you need at least one letter, one vowel. I'm sorry, what am I supposed to say to that? LMMQ? Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, you have a HOLMMQ. Like, come on, man. Like, what am I supposed to say? That McQueen, we'll just say go with MQ. We'll just say, I can't say ho. I'll say MMQ. MMQ writes, put CPU voltage to 0, now PC won't start. I actually put the CPU voltage to in my PC to 0 and now it won't start. What are you talking about? I'm guessing in BIOS. Oh. Exactly. I'm not even trying, bro. Like I gave up, man. Like what? Come on, man. That was worse when my name was what was it? It was it was something squirrel. It was like squirrel 1942 or something. I was like, man, why am I a squirrel? Oh no, it was like a ferret. It was like a nut ferret or ground ferret 1982. Like, cause it chooses your name and it gave me like a ferret. I was like, what the hell is this? Nobody's gonna know who they're talking to. It just says squirrel. I accidentally put the CPU voltage in my PC to 0 and now it will not start. I have tried resetting the CMOS by removing the battery for hours. I've tried shorting the CMOS PC off and plugged it out, of course. The PC starts but no display and no keyboard light most of the time. The PC starts but no display. Okay, well, it's better than what it was before because it said it before it wouldn't even turn on. Sometimes when I start, I get to the F1 screen, but after that, the screen turns black. I have tried unplugging every cable and tried every RAM stick in every slot and nothing works. What should I do? Well, okay, so I accidentally put the CPU voltage at 0 and now it will not start. So before it wouldn't start, but now, well, okay. So first I would say do what's called a cold boot. It's possible when you reset BIOS, there was still power in the capacitors or it was still plugged in. I would try to unplug it, then hold down the power for about 20 seconds. Then when it, 20 seconds, as well as short the pins, then boot, then unshort them and see if that resolves the issue. You said it wouldn't give you a picture, but it stayed on, which is progress. But is your monitor okay? Yeah, I want to ask that. Out of curiosity, is your monitor 4K? There's certain situations like I run into this with the Asus MG28UQ. That's 4K, but it's straight up 4K. So like sometimes it may not even show you pictures from BIOS because it is 4K, and BIOS is usually like a 1080p or 720p, so it may not show. So you have to hook it up to monitors that are only 1080p. So you may run into that situation where your monitor is actually 4K, and because of that, it won't actually display the picture until it actually boots all the way up. That's the reason why I'm asking. But I'll leave it at that. I don't want to go too far into it. But yeah, this is what I would do. I would basically drain the capacitors and then hold down the power to make sure there's no power going into it. Short the pins, power it on, and fix to reset it. Let it short, and then power it off, and then put the pins right, and then power it on. And then while it's up, then try to go to BIOS and make sure everything is back to normal. That's what I would do. I just think you may have power whenever you try, but that's you've done darn near everything, bro. I really hope that this gets you going. Okay, Mr. MQ, I hope that works, and I hope you work on that username, bro. That is harsh. All right. So this is a repeat. This is Meme Swilly. He says Biotech monitor flashes colors. My Biotech monitor flashes green, red, blue, white, black, every color of the rainbow but purple, but won't display anything. The menu won't pop up. I have replaced the cable to no avail. Does anybody have any suggestions? I said, well, does it flash these colors with no inputs going into it? What happens if you try a different input altogether? Like if it was display, try HDMI and vice versa. Yes, it happens with no inputs. And I have tried both HDMI and display. It's over, bro. If it's doing this with no inputs, it's doing it with no inputs, man. It's over. My Logitech flashes green, red, black, white. Okay, green, red, blue, white, black, but won't display anything. Yeah. I would say, I don't think you can get into the menu. The menu won't pop up, and I have replaced the cable to no avail. Yeah. Yeah, if it's giving you that without a single input going in, that is bad juju. More than likely a hardware issue. But if you can get into the menu somehow, you can try a factory reset. But that's about it. He sucked. He's destroyed on his options. He can't do a whole lot. He can try to get to a factory reset, but he doesn't have a picture, so he can't get to certain inputs. He tried both of his HDMI ports, so there's really not a whole lot he can do. If he has nothing going into the monitor and it's still changing colors on him, he just has a bad monitor at that point. I mean, you can't even blame inputs and cables at that point. It's just a monitor issue. The only thing you could try to do is a factory reset, but you can't get into the menu, so it's not a whole lot you can do, man. The only time that you can really do something at that is if you maybe had the wrong power plug going into it or the plug was going out. But if the plug was going out, it wouldn't even show you a picture. So yeah, there's not a whole lot you could do here. This is the straight hardware, unfortunately. I don't think there's anything anyone can do here. Biotech monitor. Okay. That doesn't happen too often. I don't run into those often. But okay, whatever. All right. Okay, so upstairs _ tip 1313. All right, upstairs writes, ex-boss requesting access to personal computer and phone in Canada. Oh, it's solved, but I still want to read it because it sounds interesting. I worked at a company for 10 years. Technically, I was a contractor, but treated me as an employee. Place became very toxic and bullying, and I decided to leave a month ago. I was VP. I gave them 2 weeks notice, and they said they no longer require my services, but they paid me for 2 weeks. Over the years and before leaving, I would email letters with my promotions or bad things, threatening things they would say to my personal email as reference in case something came up. The owner is highly toxic and narcissistic. Also, I had some good relationships with my customers. Thought I'd stay in contact maybe with them in the future. Now that I have been gone for nearly a month, they are demanding I come back to the office so they can have their IT delete any emails I may have sent to myself. Please arrive with your cell phone and laptop in order to meet with our IT to prove that you have permanently deleted the work emails from your personal email and devices without forwarding them to making copies. The same will apply to any of confidential information which you may have downloaded prior to your resignation. I have never signed anything, nothing regarding work info, privacy policies, data breach, or emails, nor any contracts, etc. Are they legally allowed to request this? They owe me 2 months of outstanding commission still and are still harassing me. They sent me a long-winded email and had more than enough time to contract me. I feel like they are going to hold my money hostage. I don't want to see them or want them near my personal belongings. Asking legal advice, Canada. Oh, that's where they at. Oh, okay. That's where they said it fixed it. I mean, I'll give you my opinion, but you're not gonna like it. My opinion is this: when you have situations like that, right? Okay, so this person was a vice president, right? So you have to understand they're a VP. It'd be one thing if they were just like IT or an engineer or even a physician and they weren't a part of the union. A lot of doctors are a part of unions, so it'd be one thing if they weren't a part of the union or something like that, or not a VP. But this person was a VP, okay? In the corporate world, okay, playing ball is very positively looked at, okay? So the way I look at it is I would actually go up there and let them clear my computers and emails and make sure, like, for example, I would just make sure that I have nothing to hide. Like I moved it somewhere. If I wanted to, you know, keep my my emails that I sent to myself, I would basically hide that fact. So in other words, I would delete any emails or anything like that that's on my computer and said, hey, you know what? They wanted you to bring your laptop. Is right with your cell phone and laptop in order to meet with our IT. Yeah, in this case here, I would bring my cell phone and laptop, but there won't be anything on it. That way the IT can take a look at it, but they're not going to find anything. And I would just delete everything that I've moved over to another safe location. The reason why is because I want to give them that feeling of safety, to let them know that that everything is cool. Because okay, a VP wants to, yes, and they do definitely need to lawyer up, but a VP wants to make sure that this company doesn't go talk to my next company and then my next company and then my next company, right? So if it means giving them that air of caution, even though you've went and protected yourself and moved it somewhere else, then I would do that, right? So that's the reason why, because I understand that in order to get somewhere in life, you have to make sacrifices. Now, I'm not saying that you don't protect yourself, and I'm not saying that you actually delete the emails that you have that protects you. What I'm saying is you move it to another location and then wipe everything else and then show them that you don't have anything. That way they don't go to run to A and B and C and then put bad things about your name out there so nobody will hire you again. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to teach you how to play ball, as opposed to just saying, oh no, forget them. I'm not bringing my laptop. I'm not bringing anything. They have no right to do this. Get a lawyer and all this kind of stuff. Because yes, you can do all that kind of stuff and you can protect yourself and you have all that email and all that kind of proof. But if you want to work again and you want, these companies are very, very closely related to each other. I just don't want you to be in a situation where you don't be a VP ever again, because you try to hold somebody hostage or they felt that they were being held hostage. You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about it long term as opposed to short term. But yes, in both situations, I would say that it's okay. All games to get to VP. Exactly. So because we're talking about a VP, man. We're not talking about somebody like a barista. We ain't talking about nobody like an engineer. We're talking about vice president. You know how much work you got to do to get there? Like, the last thing you want to do is have this vice president talk to that vice president, talk to that vice president, talk to that vice president, and now you can no longer work. You see what I'm saying? So and all of this over a couple grand. You see what I'm saying? It's not worth it. So if it means that, you know, you may lose a couple grand or something along those lines, but at the same time you can go become a VP anywhere else, I do it. You see what I'm saying? Because it's just a couple grand. You see what I'm saying? So I can't stand when people want to hold ground and put the line in the sand over a couple $100 when they can slaughter your name. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I say that. And there's nothing illegal about them slaughtering your name, because all they can do is have plausible deniability and say, hey, I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. If you aren't able to get that position, maybe that says more about you than it says about me. You see what I'm saying? So they can basically do it behind your back and get away with it. So because of that, I'm trying to teach you how to protect yourself from the future, because it's very, very hard to become a VP. In order to be a VP, you got to play a whole lot of ball. So because you have to play a whole lot of ball, play the game. Okay, so that's the kind of advice that I would give somebody. But I get it. I would say I would still lawyer up and protect myself. But I would still take my laptop up there to give them a little bit of more safety and make them feel like everything is okay. I would just wipe everything. But that's what I would say about it. Okay, most guys get the idea of having to sacrifice to get somewhere, right? Or most people in generally get that idea. And sometimes in order to get to levels like VPs and stuff like that, we're talking about a whole lot of sacrificing. So, I mean, he said 10 years, right? That's 10 years. This man is a decade of this man's life, or woman, a decade of this person's life to get to vice president. So I'm not about to sit here and let you throw that away. That's the way I look at it. I look at it long term. I'm not about to let you throw away a decade over $2,000. You see what I'm saying? I don't care if it's 10 grand. I'm not letting you throw away a decade over 10 grand. It's just not worth it. Because if that man starts talking to all his friends and now they all blacklist you, you got problems. So that's the reason why I say it that way. But I mean, you already put solved on it, so I don't know what else to say. But that's the way I always look at these kind of situations. I look at the long run, just try to protect you. Dang, man, VP make 10K in a week or less. Maybe. I don't know. I was just looking at it like that because I just thought that, it may be better to look at it that way. Because if it's talking about long term, I just don't want you losing your job over this, man. You gave 10 years of your life to it, and you about to sit here and die on a cross over a couple grand, a few grand. It's not worth it. I would go to another company and work another 10, 15 years and let them feel good thinking that they removed everything, but I'd still keep it in case they started to harass me again. And if they did start to harass me, then yeah, I may actually take legal action. But that's what I would do. I would try to smooth things over as best as I could, but I would still keep those files just in case. Okay, that's what I would give. I don't think that I said anything illegal. I think I gave pretty decent advice. It's not I don't think that is super illegal. I think that's okay. I'm trying to think if I said anything that's incriminating. I don't think so. I don't think that was incriminating. I was just telling you to play ball because you gave 10 years of your life. That's like giving 10 years of your life and then something pops off at work and it's like, okay, well, if that happens, okay, yeah, I feel some type of way about it, but I also gave a decade of my life to something. Exactly. Life coach. Exactly. I'm not about to sit here and let a man just ruin his whole future over something that may have happened in order to get a few grand. Like, it's just not worth it. I would rather, if it's been like 6 months, if it's been a year, if it's been a year and a half, if you're 20, if you're 19, if you're 17, if you're 22 and you just graduated from college and this is your first job, any of those situations, I would never say this. But if you were a VP at 10 years, bro, you've been playing all kinds of ball for 10 years. You've been about the game. You are the game at that point. So play the game. That's the game. The game is mind your darn business and shut the hell up. That's the game. So if you're playing the game for 10 years, then keep on playing it, player. That's the way I look at it, and protect yourself, but still play the game. Don't just get out of the game and be like, oh, I don't want to play the game anymore, but I still want to work as a VP. Well, if you're not going to be able to work as a VP if you stop playing the game, you see what I'm saying? So that's the way I look at it. I don't think I said anything incriminating, but I just look at the long run when it comes to these my life. I gave my life to this company, all this kind of stuff, and then I'm held up over a couple grand or 10 grand or whatever the case may be. Okay, all right, I'm off my soapbox about this, but okay, I'm not even gonna say anything because it's like, okay, so I'm not even gonna say anything because he wants legal advice. I'll leave it alone because I'm not a lawyer or an attorney, especially not in Canada, even though I want to go, but I'm not a lawyer, so I'm gonna leave that one alone. But that's the way I feel about it, man. 10 years is a long time. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, and that's the one that came. That was an interesting one because that gave a whole speech, but that's the way I feel about it, man. People do certain things in order to get where they want to be in life, and I get that. And you have to make certain sacrifices. And sometimes you gotta make sacrifices you don't like, but it is what it is, you know. Ridge, a black ridge. I've never seen a black one before. That's really nice. It's nice, but okay. It's nice, but at the same time, your heat's gonna be all over the place because I don't like whatever is closed right here and closed right here because all it's gonna do is make your graphics card heat up. That's the only thing about these kind of cases. And I'll put the Sentry in here, the Ridge, all of them that are like that, they get super hot. Ooh, look at this build. 6650, B550 motherboard, ITX. Oh, that's 750 platinum. I love this power supply. NHL12. Wow, that's actually a little bit bigger than the Noctua L9A. And then NVMe, and then looks like about 32 gigs of RAM. Not bad. Not bad. Nice little build. It's going to be quiet for sure. Yeah, it's going to be pretty quiet. It shouldn't get too hot. The only time it'll get hot if you try to turn it into a 3-slot. Like this guy is really thick. This guy is actually thick enough to run a 3-slot. The Ridge is, but you're not running a 3-slot. You're just running the 6650, so it should be all right. Oh, I thought it was 32. It was actually just 16, 2 8s. Okay, fair enough. Nice little build. Where you should have restricted case fans to 50% or less because they are some noisy boys. The Noctua S12s, they're not that noisy. I'm guessing that there's fans that come with the case because he's probably not talking about the Noctuas. But I've never seen Noctuas that are super. Okay, to be fair, the 92mm Chroma, the black one, that one is noisy. Even though it's based off the 92mm NF-P12, it's not as quiet as the brown ones. But that's only because it's like the CPU cooler fan for the Noctua L9A Chromax. But I'll show you. This guy, Noctua L9A Chromax. That guy, he's kind of loud. But compared to the brown one, for some reason, even though they're the same fan, for some reason my guy is a little bit louder. But I think that maybe indicative of my fan than anything. But yeah, neither here nor there. Ridge is still a really nice case. It's just kind of fat, so I can't really do a whole lot with it. But overall, it's a really nice case. All right, so this is from Masimoto. Masimoto68. Masimoto writes, headphones stopped working on one side after plugging in broken keyboard. Jesus Christ. Is there anything that works in your house? I plugged in a HyperX Alloy keyboard. That's actually a pretty decent keyboard that I previously spilled liquid on. Jesus Christ. Then I broke it in half, and then I hit it against the wall because I lost in Overwatch. And then I stepped on it because I then lost in Call of Duty, and then I poured some more juice on it, and then my daughter came in, and then she took one of the keycaps, and then I had to go chase my daughter, and then get the keycap back, and then I put it in the wrong spot, and then I dropped the keyboard again, and it fell into a million pieces, and I tried to put it together, but it was still kind of sticky. This is like, Jesus Christ. Is my keyboard still gonna work? And now my headphones don't work because one side doesn't come on, but I'm pretty sure there's juice in the USB port. It's just like, good God, what did you do? What did you do? Okay, I plugged in a HyperX Alloy keyboard that I previously spilled liquid on after leaving it to dry to test if it worked. Oh God, it didn't work right away and wasn't properly typing, of course, and changed the language of the letters and stuff when using my other working keyboard that was plugged in. The language in Windows stayed the same. I restarted my PC and this was fine. Trying to get into everything. This is when I realized my headphones had stopped working properly. They were working perfectly fine until then. My headphones are HyperX Cloud Alphas. Okay, so he's talking about the wired ones. Pretty sure these are wires. The Cloud Alphas are the wireds. Yeah, they're the wireds. Since then, the headphones only play audio from all sources on the left side. I've tried the short and long cables. I've tried it on my phone, gone to sound settings and checked the balance. It looks normal. When I try to set it to the right side only, I hear nothing. Well, what could the other keyboard have done? And is there some keyboard shortcut to reverse this or a software setting to change it? No, man, I'm pretty sure there's juice in your keyboard and there's juice in your headset too. No, stop spilling juice in your keyboard and you won't have these problems. It sounds like your headset may have gotten shorted out by the keyboard. which is a possibility. Since it doesn't work on your phone as well, that sounds more likely to be the issue. Yeesh. You can try to update the drivers to see if that helps, but it is highly unlikely. I think they're just shorted, bro. Are just shorted, bro. Stop being clumsy. Hold this L. Stop being clumsy. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say that. I used to do this thing, man. Like, I would say what I really wanted to say in the email, and then I'd erase it, and then send what I'm supposed to say. Cause like sometimes you be wanting to say the right thing to a person, but saying the right thing will probably also get you fired. So you just kind of erase it and then say the wrong thing, but you type it because it makes you feel better. So if you ever want to say the wrong thing to somebody, just type it out, but then erase it and type the correct thing and then send the correct thing, because that kind of, it makes you feel better, because it's like, I almost sent it. You lucky I'm saved, because if I wasn't saved, I would have sent what I was going to send. That's exactly how I feel about this. Oh my goodness. That is, stop spilling juice on your keyboard. You won't have these problems. Oh my goodness. Why would you even ask at that point? Like, it's over, bro. Like, it sounds like it's shorted, and that really sucks, because those are really good headphones, but yeah. Game over, bro. I don't really think there's a whole lot you can do after that. Okay. This is from Akazo. Okay, so Akazo writes, my PC stopped recognizing any input. Please, Lord, do not tell me he spilled juice on his keyboard. So today I was playing a game, Witcher 1, which is excellent, and everything was okay until I heard a beep from my PC and my input stopped registering. Not only in the game, but the whole PC, since no keyboard shortcuts worked. The game was still running fine, the enemies were still attacking me and everything, and I could move my mouse cursor but couldn't click on anything. When I restarted my PC, everything was okay. Do any of you know what this could be, and could it be connected to my graphics card? Because I occasionally get motherboard beep codes that refer to GPU when I turn my PC on. I asked about that a couple months ago here as well. Thank you in advance. My input stopped registering, not only in the game, but on the whole PC, since no keyboard shortcuts worked. So not only did his keyboard not work, his mouse stopped clicking as well. So he had the game was still running fine, and I could move the mouse cursor, but I couldn't click on anything. So you couldn't click, nor could you press any keyboards. Okay. Keyboard shortcuts. Okay. Do you have macros? Have macros on your Windows PC? Or do you have macros? Let me think. Or AutoHotkey. Well, that is macros, but macros, or I'll say it, AutoHotkey turned on. That happens a lot. Like, also, he said he couldn't press any keyboard shortcuts or couldn't click on his mouse, so both of them lost connectivity. Also, is your keyboard and mouse wired or wireless? Both were unable to click on the screen, correct? I'll leave it at that. I don't want to go too far into it. But if they're both wireless, then it's a possibility it could be his Wi-Fi dongle or his Bluetooth or something like that, and you may have lost connectivity because his Bluetooth devices stopped picking up. This happens a lot, especially if you have heat on your chassis. Like if your chassis is overheated and your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi is kind of on the motherboard, but sometimes when there's too much heat, it can make you lose connectivity. So it's a possibility that he may have lost Bluetooth connectivity or Wi-Fi connectivity to his keyboard and mouse, and maybe that was it. Now, if it's wired, that's a little bit different. But if it's wired, I'm thinking macros, because that's typically what happens. Sometimes those macros can get stuck, and when they get stuck, it makes it so that you can't press anything. So just making sure that he doesn't have macros or auto hotkey turned on. Sometimes people have a whole lot of macros that allow you to press multiple buttons, especially in games like Witcher, where you can, you know, press multiple buttons at the same time. So, Kazo, I hope that helps. Keep us posted, bro. Oh, wow, that is so small. My favorite traveling PC gaming rig. Jesus, that's small. USB 3 too, so it's a little bit older, but it's really, really tiny. Wow. Oh, wow, and it can fit an SFX power supply. Isn't that interesting? And a graphics card. Holy hell. So it can fit a full size, well, not really full size, but a small form factor graphics card, as well as motherboard, as well as the power supply. That's insane. What is that chassis? That's really small. NHL12. It can fill an L12, so it has up to a 47 millimeter height on the fan, on the CPU, and a 600 platinum, and an i5. Ooh, and a 2060. How big is it? Oh wow, the 2060 Mini too. That is clean. What chassis is that? Laser 3D Performance Small Form Factor LZ. I don't even know what this is. It's 226 millimeters, bro. It's smaller than most graphics cards nowadays. Oh wow, I've never heard of this. Laser 3D. Ooh, look at that. Oh snap! Look at this. I've never even heard of them. That is a nice little box. It's like a small Xbox. That is clean. Why haven't I heard of this place before? And what a time to get new everything. Dang. Yeah, that's this is crazy, bro. What is this? What is this? And they have one with MATX. Oh, that's clean. Oh, that's clean. Oh, that is clean. Look at the amount of ventilation that he gets for the graphics card. That is clean. And it's MATX. Oh, that's clean. I like that. Now, of course, you have to do the 2 right angle brackets, but that's okay. Now, it'll be more of a pain if you had like the RTX 4080 and 4090. I don't think you'll be able to close it, but it fits like 3070s, and that's a 37 EVGA. That's a 2.4, 2.3, 2.4 slot card. So yeah, that is crazy good. This thing has a lot of different options too. Hey, I like this wood finish on some of these, particularly this one. This one is clean, bro. That is nice. Okay, well. All right, well, go on with your bad self. Not well. I have the exact, and I mean exact same parts, but I built my PC cooler in a Cooler Master Q300P, and I get overheating problems on my GPU. Do I have a detective unit, or does this specific card run hotter than others? No, it doesn't. I would say it doesn't run hotter because the 3090, okay, because I compare everything to the 3090 XC3, and every card is cooler than that fucker. So every card you're going to run, because that card is a 2 slot, a true 2 slot, and everything else is a 2.4. So that's going to be your EVGAs, that's going to be like your Red Devils, all of them are like 2.4 slot. The XC3 is 2 slot, and it gets up to 86 degrees when playing video games, or 90 depending on where it's at. So that guy is super hot. But most of the EVGAs, I mean, they don't really run too hot unless you're suffocating the power. But he's not suffocating in this case. This guy, oh no, I'm sorry. He's talking about the 2060, not the 3070. I'm thinking about the 3070 because that's what we just saw. That right there. We just saw the 3070 Ti, but he's not talking about the 3070 Ti. Oh, that's what it looks like. That is kind of clean. It's almost like Texan. But that is pretty clean because it has so much opening and space, but it can only accommodate like a 3070 Ti EVGA. So that's only 2.4 slots. So you don't really get a ton of space, and it's not big enough to accommodate like the 4080 or the 4090, maybe even not even the 4070 Ti. But it can go 3070, it can go 3080, 3090 in Red Devil. The Red Devil 6900 XT will fit in here just fine because the Red Devil and the 3070 Ti are very close to each other in size. That's pretty clean though. Good for you, bro. Overheating with my RTX 2060 undervolting fixed the problem. Yeah, the 2060, the mini, I can get that because it's only that one little slot card, and it's only like half height and it's half size. So yeah, when you only got that one fan, I can definitely see it overheating. Cool rig, bro. And that is a very cool build. I'm kind of interested in that. Oh, okay, so it's not even out yet. Pre-order. That would make sense because I was like, man, I've never even heard of this thing. But that's clean. I like it. Well, they're probably gonna have to do a few things because, okay, so fits GPU size 330 millimeter in length. Yeah, exactly. And 137 millimeter in height. And it's quad slot. It's quad slot, but it's only 330 and 137 on height. I think the 4080, 4090 is like 170. So I don't think that'll fit. But it's MATX, which means that it can go micro and mini. So, I mean, overall, it's a pretty decent case. It's kind of interesting, and it's very pretty. That's good to know. Never knew they had that. All right, well, that's pretty sweet. Okay, dusty, though. Yeah, his was a little bit dusty. Alrighty, so this is going to be from No Definition 6644. No Definition. Okay, so No Definition writes, need help with apps stuck on computing. Okay, let me get some water. Oh. All right, I went into the storage section in my apps, and it does not say whether they are in internal storage or SD card. I cannot open those apps, and I need a fix. Okay. How many apps? He's talking about his cell phone. How many apps are we referring to? Can you uninstall them and reinstall them? I cannot open those apps and I need a fix. They are in internal storage or SD card. Can you uninstall them or reinstall them and reinstall them? If it's too many, then try to go to whichever to the App Store and check and see if they all need updates. How many apps we're referring to? Can you uninstall them and reinstall them? If it's too many, then try to go to the App Store and check and see if they all need updates. Yeah, I would go with that. So basically, his apps are stuck on computing. I'm not sure what computing means. I'm guessing trying to figure out exactly how many apps he has. This may be a phone or this may be like a PS5 or something. So I can't really tell. But either way, they all would pretty much work the exact same. So how many apps are we referring to? Can you uninstall them and reinstall them? If it's too many, then try to go to the App Store and check to see if if they all need updates. I would agree on all of those, except for if it was a PS5, in which case the only thing that wouldn't work here is the last sentence. So yeah, I'm not sure what kind of device is he talking about. Maybe I should ask him. What device are you referring to, by the way? I'm sitting here guessing, but he can be talking about his Xbox. Okay, my Game Boy Advance, bro. My Game Boy Advance. Whenever I try to turn off and remove all my applications, I can't. And I can't tell whether or not they're on the SD card or the actual internal storage. I was like, bro, if you said Game Boy Advance, I would have gave you a better answer. but yeah, I have no idea. But it truly could be a Game Boy Advance. It was Game Boy Advance. He would have to go into his settings and go to his storage. And then what I would probably say if it was the Game Boy Advance, I would probably say to power it off, remove the SD card, power on the device, and see if all those applications are gone. That's what I would say if it was the Game Boy Advance. Wow, the range on me, man, is crazy. Alrighty, more furry than human. Okay, so this is a repeat. I'll keep talking until I remember what his issue is. Getting Windows has encountered a problem communicating with a device connected to your computer. Is my hard drive dead? Okay, so yeah. This is the guy who really kind of started off talking about his SSD, but he actually is talking about his hard drive turning itself off whenever I turn on the PC, but he can hear it. So he can hear the hard drive turning itself on whenever I turn on the PC. It's recognized sometimes, changes between restarts, in my BIOS, but Windows does not recognize it anywhere. Is my hard drive completely dead, or is there a way to fix it and recover the files? I said, okay. You have an issue with your hard drive, your HDD, not your SSD. Got it. So if you hear it spinning up but don't detect it in Windows, go to Start Disk Manager and see if you see it there. If it's not there, more than likely it may be a drive that has gone bad or has corrupted partitions, but you can try a different SATA port on your motherboard to see if you get better results. Thank you for a response. For God knows what reason, my hard drive is now showing up again. I have no idea why, and my PC works fine for like 5 to 10 minutes whenever I boot it up. However, after that, the whole thing freezes up and either blue screens or just hangs like that. Check disk says both drives are okay. Sometimes File Explorer and Task Manager specifically freeze, but my browser and other programs work fine. I was thinking about either wiping my SSD and reinstalling Windows. It only has about 9 gigs of space left, so that could be the problem, or wiping my HDD, which I don't really want to do because I have to install all my games again. It has 100 gigs of storage space left out of 2 terabytes. Any idea what the problem could cause this stuff to happen? No idea. My PC works fine for like 5 to 10 minutes whenever I boot it up. However, after that, the whole thing freezes up. Okay. I think we're talking about 2 different issues. Okay. I think we are talking about 2 different issues. So the PC freezing up, and B-side sounds more like the SSD is having issues or is full, while the being undetected and losing a connection sounds more like the hard disk drive is having problems, having issues. So what I would say would be to either clear out space on your SSD to see if it resolves the freezing / B-side prior to wiping. Well, I'm not even saying prior to wiping. The freezing / B-side, and this is going to be tree size program to find the biggest files to delete. Clear out space on your SSD to see if that resolves the freezing / B-side tree size program to find the best files to delete. Then for the hard drive, well, the hard drive is like on its last legs, bro. So the PC freezing up B-side sounds more like the SSD, and while the being undetected and losing connection sounds more like the HDD is having problems. So what I would say would be to either clear out the space on your SSD to see if that resolves the freezing B-side, tree size program to find the biggest files to delete, and the HDD leave it alone before it comes back, but also remove anything important from it. Sounds like it's on its last legs. Yeah, when it starts doing that and breaking and fixing and breaking and fixing and breaking and fixing and breaking and fixing, it's on its last legs. There's only so much you can do to a hard drive. You can put it to a different SATA port, see if that works, but that's kind of about it. So if it's keep losing connectivity and stuff like that, then yeah, it's on its last legs, bro. It's better to move it all off. Or, I mean, you can keep the games on there because losing the games is not a big deal, but you may want to, if it's something bad or something important on your hard drive, I would say go ahead and move it off and put it on your SSD. Well, okay. Once you remove, make some room on your SSD, then move it over there, because if you only got 9 gigs, you have no space. So yeah, more furry than human, man. You need to clean up your drives, bro. Keep us posted though. Okay, what time is it? 9 o'clock, man. This is way better. Making stories up and talking and chit-chatting has been pretty good because now we haven't burned through all of them. Like yesterday, we went to like, what we had? We had like darn near 30 of them and we just kind of burned right through them. All right, so this is from Playful Category 9159. Playful Category writes, Chrome doesn't open and only appears on my taskbar even after reinstalling it. Lately, my Chrome web browser started bugging out and only appeared at the bottom of my screen. I tried oh yeah, I remember this. So basically, this guy has Google Chrome, and the thing about it is whenever he opens it, it doesn't show a picture on his screen. Instead, it shows as itself as clicked, as in he clicked on it to open it. However, it's not showing a picture. So what I said to this was, I said, so with this one here, more than likely what's happening is that it's opening on a screen that doesn't exist. So what I would recommend is for you to click the Windows logo and then press right or left until it actually shows up on the main screen. That's what I said. I'm literally reading the picture in my head of what I said yesterday. That's why I have to close my eyes, because I'm literally going over it in my head. He said, thank you so much, dude. The second one that helped. I just got a new monitor, so that's what it probably was. Same thing helped solve my issue on Steam too. Thank you so very much. Uninstall, reinstall may keep these settings so it doesn't remove the folder completely. More than likely, it's just a monitor that no longer exists and just needs to be moved to a new monitor for you to see it. Yeah. Sweet. So we got a W. Woot, woot. I'll take that W for the team. So we would like to thank all the people that helped us get to where we are today. And we like to thank Sony for some reason, as well as Microsoft for keeping us in business. And yeah, hope to get many more W's down the line. So yeah, appreciate it. Good job, bro. I'm glad that worked out for you. Playful Category. We helped somebody. Hooray. This haven't been for naught. So I appreciate it. Cool. But yeah, that's exactly what that is. So if you run into that issue when you click on something and doesn't actually show a picture, it more than likely is because it's connected to a monitor that doesn't that's no longer there. It happens a lot. Whenever you close screens out, you may have closed it in a monitor that you may not have hooked up, or may have changed resolutions or positions. And when that happens, it won't open again. Ooh. Okay, now you're just trying to make me feel bad. So basically, this is their Messalicious, and they went all white on it. And this is what I tried to do. So I have the 850 watt platinum, which I'm gonna switch out when I get off this call or get off this training. I'll probably do it this weekend because I don't feel like doing it right now. But he also has a Cooler Master in white, which is really clean. And then his memory glows white, which makes me feel bad, but whatever. I wonder what kind of graphics card he's using, because that Messalicious does not like that 4090. Very much. I hate RGB with a passion, but this just hits the right amount. Good cable management too. Well done, mate. I agree. This can be a 4090 because I can just tell by the amount of cables he has. He would have way more cables if this was a 4090, but this looks really good. So much price premium went into all white components. Worth it? Well, not really, because the 850 watt, the power supply was only like 170. The memory is probably pretty expensive, but the Cooler Master cooler is like 180. And the white cables came with the Corsair, so you didn't have to do too much work, like that 8-pin and the graphics and stuff, or the 24-pin and the 8-pin that came with the power supply. So he didn't really have to do a whole lot. Maybe for the white fans here, and then for the lighting on the memory, he probably paid like an extra $75. But overall, not that much. Now the white on the motherboard means that he has a higher end motherboard, but most people have higher end motherboards anyway these days, because there are no more low end motherboards these days. All into the white components. Can you tell us the specs? So cold. Did he tell anybody the specs? How you gonna post something and not tell people the specs, man? What kind of stuff is that? I think he just put it just for show. I feel like when people just post something and they don't tell you the parts, they're just trying to show off. Yo, look at my man cave. I'm not telling you what's inside, but look, are you jealous? Are you jealous? You should be jealous. Because my PC looks better than yours. It is nice though. It's very pretty. Alrighty, so this is from Accomplished Face 759. Accomplished Face, okay. Why don't you just say model? Model writes, Google Play Store issue. So my Google Play says to check my connections, but the issue is I am contended to Wi-Fi and I don't know how to reset the app or get it to connect. Can anyone help? Samsung Galaxy S8. What? So my Google Play says to check my connection. Got you. So he has an internet connectivity issue, but the issue is I am connected to Wi-Fi and I don't know how to reset the app or get it to connect. Can anyone help? He has a DNS issue. Okay, so more than likely you have a DNS issue, but he's not gonna know what that means. He's not gonna know what that means. What I want to say on this. Okay, so I'm not even gonna tell him. I'm not even gonna tell him. He's not gonna know what it is. So what we can do here is you can reboot your router to see if that resolves the issue with your phone not having internet. Also, you can disconnect from the Wi-Fi from the settings and just use your phone's data plan in the interim. I'd rather give him an option as a workaround than try to troubleshoot him in his DNS issue. I don't think we're going to get very far. And just tell him to do this, because if he's just trying to get to the Google Play Store just to download, just go ahead and go to the Google Play Store by using the phone's data instead of using your Wi-Fi. Or just reboot your Wi-Fi. Either one works. So I would go with the reboot of the Wi-Fi first to see if that helps. It may not, but if it doesn't, I'm not about to sit here and work him to try to get into the DNS of the router. That's maybe a little bit harder for him, because we're talking about the cell phone, and we're not about to change the DNS of the cell phone, because if we do that, then no matter what he connects to, the DNS will be the same, and he may have a work setup. And if he has a work setup, obviously the DNS can be the same thing, because if it is, then if you try to VPN, it won't be able to change the DNS, because the DNS is manual and it'll be a whole problem. So I would rather not do that. Nor would I rather not try to teach him about DNS, whether from the router perspective or the phone's perspective. It's not worth it. So in this particular situation here, I would tell him to reboot the router. And then on the Wi-Fi side, I would just tell him to unhook from the Wi-Fi and then just use his phone's data plan and see if that works as a alternative, instead of trying to teach him about DNS. Now, if this was a computer, then I may have done it, but because it's a Samsung Galaxy S8, I just don't want to go through that problem. It's not worth it. You may, because you don't, okay, it's very rare that you want to work a DNS issue on a phone, because a lot of times people use their phone for work too, and if their phone connects to any type of a VPN, you cannot change those DNS to the DNS that belongs to the company, so you can reach other stuff. So you don't want to start messing with their DNS, because once it goes manual, you can't then change it and allow the VPN tunnel that you're trying to set up or connect to your job. It won't be able to change those manual IPs that you put in there for DNS. So you don't want to go that route if we're talking about cell phones. You only want to do that if we're talking about computers. So cell phones is a totally different ballgame. Don't play that. Don't do that. I would rather you just try to reboot the router. Now, if you want to change the DNS from the router's perspective and you want to teach somebody how to do it from the router, I'm okay with that. But just not from the cell phone. It's too dangerous, because you may set them up and configure their DNS to use 8.8.8.8, and then all of a sudden they get a job where they have to use their phone for work and they can't. You see what I'm saying? Because now they're connected to their work Wi-Fi, but it can't change the DNS to what it's supposed to be. And you're trying to use 8.8.8.8 and Google's blocked. You see what I'm saying? So now they can't even use their phone in order to get out, because you've killed their DNS, because it's trying to use 8.8.8.8, but Google is blocked in their company. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to play those games. So that's the reason why I don't like using cell phones and trying to teach people cell phones and DNS and how to make those changes, even though I know how. Okay, accomplished face. That was a whole lot of nothing I just said. Well, there's a whole lot that goes into it, but I was just trying to explain it to myself so that everybody kind of gets the idea of what's happening and why I do things the way I do them when it comes to cell phones. It's easier that way to go after the router than it is to go after anything else. Alrighty, good sir. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Mr. Face, keep us posted. Giant KS says Viagra in Steam Witcher 3. Okay, is this actually a threat? Windows Defender warned me about it. I searched it up and it's a Trojan, but this can't be a positive. It's the game from Steam. How come it would have a virus? What? Okay, well, let me see. Let us see. Malware detected in Steam DL Witcher Viagra. Okay. From CD Projekt Red forums. Okay, that's interesting. You have our attention. Um, hmm. I could be wrong, but Google Vigram, and it appeared to be a well-known Trojan, so I highly doubt it could be included with the game. Right. And even if that was the case, I assume everyone who has used antivirus would have this alerted while installing the game. And as far as I know, you're the only ones. So I could suggest perform a full scan. I mean, he has a point. Witcher 3 has, what, like 80 billion copies? So, you know, you would have 80 billion Trojans running around if that was the case. Did you see the print screen? The file infected is downloaded via Steam. I already did a scan. Nothing was found. Windows Defender and Kaspersky. Sorry, just realized created this topic in CP form. Antivirus software hooks very deep into user systems. Some games also use copy protection technology that can appear as malicious. Yeah, I generally, whenever you see malware and it's associated with a video game, it doesn't mean that the video game is actually doing something malware or malicious, because if that was the case, they'd be sued into oblivion. It generally means that they have some type of hacking software that is actually being triggered. A gigantic example of this is Lost Ark. So Lost Ark used to have this situation where they used to have a bunch of people that were basically hacking the game. And what they would do is they would run all these bots on the game, and you would see people just running in droves and going to different locations, but you couldn't talk to them or interact. And they all do the exact same thing, talk the exact same NPC, and it was just bots. It was probably, I would say it was maybe 60% bots. That's how bad it was. You would go to talk to somebody and you would see just rows of people just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Everybody get on their ship and they go to the exact same location. It was bad. So, Lost Ark updated their security settings and came out with a new one that basically what it does is it randomly triggers you. So basically, on random intervals, it will check to make sure you're actually playing the game by having you enter certain keystrokes on your keyboard. So if you do things consistently for X amount of time, so let's say you go 30 minutes and you press the exact same key at the exact same interval, you're doing the exact same thing at the exact same interval, it will check you and it will make sure to put in this keystroke, so like WASD-F or whatever. And if you don't put that in, it'll kick you out the game. So it was doing that to everybody that was botting, and it lowered their bot count by like almost like 80 to 90%. It was rare to see somebody botting. However, in doing so, the people that were online dropped by like 80%. But at the same time, it was good because now the game was actually the game. It was the same game as the one that was in Japan. So yeah, Lost Ark was one of those ones that did that. And whenever they did that, a lot of people were actually seeing it as malware because it was some brand new type of hotkey, because literally it's almost like a hotkey, because it's looking at the keystrokes that you're entering, and because of the keystrokes that you're entering, it's saying, hey, you're doing something malicious. Go ahead and put these keystrokes in that I tell you to, W43D9, and you don't put in W43D9, well, obviously you're botting or you're not online. Either way, I'm kicking you out, or I'm blocking your account if you do this multiple times. So that's what their bot actually did. So yeah, Lost Ark was one of the ones that's run into this, but this happens a lot with certain video games. You run into this all the time. Here you can find somebody else as well. The Witcher 3 crash reported virus file are legit. Looking through this forum, it seems people are reporting similar issues with Cyberpunk. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of any of these guys that have situations where they have tools that kind of prevent hacking. They can sometimes be seen as a virus. So more than likely, it's what we call a false positive. But, you know, same warning, assume it's false positive. Exactly. So, yeah, false positive. Weird that few players encounter this issue now and before. Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll leave it alone. More than likely, it's a false positive. More than likely, it's a false positive. Mostly because Witcher 3 has been played 80 billion times. So if it was malicious, they would have 80 million problems. LOL. More than likely it's a false positive, mostly because Witcher 3 has been played 80 billion times. So if it was malicious, they would have 80 billion problems. Billion problems. There we go. And that's true. More than likely it's a false positive. There's no more than likely. It's a false positive. A lot of times their security services and their security programs can trigger as a antivirus or malware, even though it's not. It's just that it's looking at keystrokes. And anything that looks at keystrokes can be triggered as malware. Okay, including auto hotkey, by the way. Auto hotkey will get triggered as malware like that. So yeah, it happens. You may run auto hotkey just for your computer, but auto hotkey would also be triggered as well. Okay, so this is from Lord Hoops. And Lord Hoops says, having serious issues getting Oculus Quest 2 to work. I haven't worked a VR issue, and I have plans on getting the PlayStation VR. So I figured it may be a good idea to go ahead and grab it, even though I've never had one. But it doesn't matter. I think we can probably still troubleshoot even without me having it before. I'm currently trying to use a new Oculus Quest 2 to play VR chat on my computer. Only problem is nothing seems to work correctly. The headset seems to be stuck on a screen that says pair your headset to the MetaQuest mobile app to continue setup. I have gotten the app, but am unable to find anything regarding pairing on it. And the headset is basically stuck on that screen. I've gotten virtual desktop, I think, on my computer, I think, on my phone. I say I think because it's showing no indication of having been installed anywhere on any device. I just want to play VR chat with my friends, but I am stuck at the mercy of technology that doesn't explain itself at all, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I have tried everything to the best of my abilities. Please, if you can explain how to get my headset to communicate with my computer, it will be much appreciated. Well, your headset communicates with your computer with a cable. I mean, Oculus Quest 2. Let's look it up real quick. Well, maybe not. I thought it was just a cable, but I could be wrong. Oculus Quest 2. Pair with PC. Install the Oculus Link app on your PC, power on your headset, connect a compatible USB-C to the Oculus Link to your PC, put the Oculus Link in, and select Allow by looking at the virtual button and pressing the headset volume button. Okay. We'll try that, but we're not gonna just say this verbatim. There's gonna be a few things I change, but you can explain how to get my headset to communicate with my computer. It would be much appreciated. I just want to play VR chat. Okay, how to connect. Install Oculus Link app on your PC, power on your headset, connect a compatible USB-C to the Oculus Link and your PC. Scroll down. You never mentioned whether or not you had a cable plugged in from the headset to the connected compatible USB to Oculus Link from the plugged in from the Oculus Link to your PC. Do you have this configured? Okay. So something like that. So even if you don't know the issue, you can still work it. It's weak, don't get me wrong, because I don't have it. So because of that, I can't actually say what you would do here. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would just grab the information from the actual instructions and then just ask a few extra questions just to get some probing information done to see if he actually hooked up a cable to it. But that's pretty much all you can do really in these kind of situations when they're talking about products you actually don't have. But I'll have the PSVR, so I'll be able to explain that one. But the Oculus Quest I don't have, so it's like, that's kind of how you would troubleshoot it. Even though it's compared to some of these other answers that I've given, it's a little bit weaker. But it is what it is. You can't win them all. But that may actually solve his issue. So I'm not. I mean, that may be 50% of what his issue is. So we'll see what happens. Alrighty, Shane does IT, right? Okay, cool. Okay, Shane does IT. He writes, Jabra headset connected to laptop doesn't work unless I listen to the device first, only through RDP sessions. Okay, so when work from home, I RDP into my work laptop. What? Okay, so what he's really saying is that he RDPs into his work laptop, but that can only be accomplished by him VPN into his office. So basically, he will connect up to his office, create a tunnel between himself into the office, and then once he has that tunnel set up, he would then RDP into his laptop. You can't just do it straight from his house, unless he literally has an ACL that allows him to talk to his laptop from his home, which is highly unlikely and very dangerous because RDP is in the clear. In other words, it's not encrypted. So when work from home, I RDP into my work laptop where the headset Jabra Evolve 65. I have it. I have that guy. It's this. Don't ask me. I literally just I didn't know that's what he was talking about, but that's what this is. Evolve 65 is connected via a supplied dongle, the Jabra Link 370. Each day when I RDP in my headset audio microphone does function until I get into sound settings and listen to the device. Every day when I RDP in, my headset audio microphone doesn't function until I go into sound settings and listen to the device. After this, the headset works for the rest of the session. When working from the laptop directly, i.e. in the office, the headset connected to the laptop works reliably. Right. It seems it's something to do with the RDP connection, correct? This has been going on for months prior to the months performing the above workaround each day, albeit tedious. Until I go into sound settings and listen to this device. After this, the headset works for the rest of the session. Well, that sounds pretty normal. More than likely, that sounds pretty normal. You can try. Okay, I'm not even gonna say that. If you're an admin, remember, never, ever, 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 ever try to play somebody's domain admin. It's not worth it. So if that person has a domain admin, don't play games. Instead, just like, hey, if you're an admin, you can try TeamViewer. But there's a caveat to this, right? So TeamViewer has a problem. Well, that's not a problem. Okay, so the way TeamViewer prevents you from taking advantage of TeamViewer, what they actually do is they do a scan of the PC that you install it on to see if it's a part of a group. So in other words, if it's a part of a domain, then it would actually see your domain as blah 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 .netflix.com or whatever your domain is. So if it sees that you're a part of a domain, it'll stop the free service. So what I'm trying to get him to do is try TeamViewer temporarily to see if that fixes his audio issues. That sounds pretty normal if you're an admin. You can try TeamViewer for free temporarily. It will kick you out eventually by restricting you to only 5 minutes, but it will let you know if the audio works. If it does, that may be the better alternative, provided you pay for the service and your domain admin allows it. Always say that, because this is dangerous. Because TeamViewer is an application VPN. In other words, it bypasses actual VPN. So for example, he can connect to his laptop regardless if he's at work or not, and regardless if he's using any type of VPN service or not, he can just straight up connect to it. That's the way it works. Now, of course, they may block TeamViewer, and there's a very high probability that they're doing that, but TeamViewer doesn't require you to connect to your VPN in order to actually access the TeamViewer tunnel. It's actually creating a tunnel between the applications itself. So TeamViewer is a little dangerous, and a lot of times some companies block it, but what I'm trying to get at is I want him to try another application that also does RDP sessions, and the only one that does that is TeamViewer. There's a few others, but TeamViewer is the most popular one, and I know personally that TeamViewer is very friendly when it comes to audio equipment and gear. So if TeamViewer works, then he can go ahead and get that going instead. So you can also say, try Teams or WebEx or something like that. Any of those are okay, but TeamViewer is probably the quickest and easiest. If it does, that may be better alternative provided you pay for the service and your domain admin allows it. Yeah. You can't do anything to RDP. You just can't. There's nothing you can do. RDP is just an application on Windows. Like, there's nothing you can do. You just log into the device and it just pops up. There's no options to RDP. It's either on or it's off. So because of that, and I know that it has no options, I'm just telling him to use TeamViewer instead, which is an application-based VPN, which has better options in choosing your audio, and usually is very friendly with audio. Like, for example, I used to use TeamViewer to log into my other computers to play video games. That's how good TeamViewer is. So I already know that the audio on that guy is pretty good. But yeah, what he's talking about, these guys here, these guys that connect either Bluetooth or through a dongle, these guys here, they do work with TeamViewer, because TeamViewer, it will transfer the audio over automatically, and he shouldn't have to do that tedious stuff. But if he doesn't want to use TeamViewer, or if his domain admin blocks him, or if his firewall blocks him, any of those situations occur, he may have to just stick with RDP and just call it a day and just deal with it. But yeah, there's no real settings you can change on RDP. It is what it is. Alrighty, well, that was a whole explanation and study time and talking about RDP sessions and how that works. But yeah, that's long story short, that's exactly how RDP. There's just not a whole lot of options whenever you're using RDP. But TeamViewer is a good alternative. Alrighty, Shane does IT. I hope that helps. Oh, well, he's an ad. I was thinking that he may be an admin because he said literally Shane does IT, so more than likely he's an admin. But I don't want to play that game though. You never want to go against a person who may have a domain admin. That domain admin will be hot. So just make sure you always let them know, like, hey, check with your domain admin first before you start making changes and put in applications that may not be compliant with your company. All right, so this is from Niet Dean. Niet writes, drops of water on. Why is everybody spilling juice on their computers? Hey man, I was drinking some orange juice and one thing led to another. Now my entire computer and my keyboard is sticky, homie. How can I fix this? By getting a new computer and keyboard, homie. Stop spilling orange juice on your computer and start drinking like an adult. Jesus Christ, they have holes in their mouth, man. Drops of water on PC. Recently, I heard drops falling in my PC room and a puddle of water was on my desk. Oh, okay, so it was from his roof. There wasn't much water on my PC, though. I'm not sure even if water got input, say like 10 drops got in somehow. Would that be really bad? I'm very scared something bad will happen. Well, I would power down the PC and make sure I dry wherever the water fell off with a completely dry towel. Power down the PC and unplug it. And hold down the power button to drain the capacitors. This is very akin to spilling water or liquid or coolant on your motherboard components while you're trying to set up liquid cooling. Generally, it's actually okay as long as it's not a lot and your computer's not on. And I make sure I dry wherever the water fell off with a completely dry towel, and then make sure it is completely dried off before powering it back on. Dude, that's what I would do on that one. I would just straight up power it off, unplug it, drain the power, and then go from there. Okay, Niet Dean. I understand that worries you, bro. Yeah, you probably want to take care of that water. You don't want to let it evaporate in your case. That's probably a horrible idea, because as soon as it gets in that fan, then you really got some problems. So yeah, just go ahead and power it off and clean out. All right, Dean, man, I hope that helps. That was 4 hours ago, so by the end, your water's probably already evaporated, but hopefully that got to you in time. All right, Putrid Song. Okay, why do I feel like that is an actual thing? So Putrid Song writes, is it possible to swap a whole laptop lid with another one of the same brand but not model? What? So basically, I got a Lenovo IdeaPad Y700 laptop. All right, let me see what he's talking about. Okay, so images. Okay. Oh, no. So basically, I got a Lenovo IdeaPad Y700 laptop, which has a broken off hinge that isn't holding on to the screen anymore after my cousin dropped it on the floor. As it is it possible to swap the whole lid with one from a Lenovo Legion Y720 if it's the same size and the hinges fit in the IdeaPad Y700 same way it did the Legion Y720? I don't think so, bro. These are not the same. No. Legions have always been, I never seen a Legion. Maybe what? Maybe Lenovo Legion Y720. Okay, let's look at these two. Are you serious? Are they really that close to each other? Lenovo IdeaPad Y720 versus the Legion. Well, I'm not seeing a difference. Yeah, they look the same, bro. They look the same. It's the same size and the hinges fit in the IdeaPad same way it did the Legion. But I would rank a Legion over an IdeaPad, but whatever. I'm asking for any compatibility issue. I know it's probably has some kind of Wi-Fi antenna and don't really care about it as long as the screen works and displays things correctly and doesn't cause any problems with the motherboard. They look like they could fit, but there is no way for anyone to know, unfortunately, more than... Also, I would check to see if this guy is under warranty before you start replacing components. Hope that helps. Yeah, I mean, they look like they'll fit, but I'm not about to be the one to tell him yes, because he may do that and violate his warranty. So check his warranty first and then go from there. Because, I mean, who are we to tell you, whether or not that'll fit or not? No one would know that. Nobody would be like, oh, hey, let me go ahead and remove the back of this laptop and add it to the back of this laptop because they look similar. Like, nobody's going to tell you that because nobody's ever done that before. Nobody's ever thought of that as a thing. And if they did, they're not on, Reddit posting. Like, it just doesn't happen too often. Especially not the back of it. So yeah, bro. Oh, aw. So yeah, bro, future song, man. I hope that helps, but there's not a whole lot anybody can do there. I would say check your warranty, and if the warranty is gone, then you can go ahead and try, but nobody will know that answer. Alrighty, do the cats count towards total volume? Yes, if they're cute. I like his keyboard. I've never seen a green keyboard. That's pretty nice. Not that green. That's like lime green, like a popsicle. That is the cutest thing ever, but there will be so much dander in his computer case. I'm allergic to dander and grass and cut lawns and anything that gives you allergies. So you blow dust in my face, I'm pretty much out for the count. So if you ever want to get rid of me, just a little dust is all, some pixie dust, flour, dust, dander, cat hair, dog hair, any of that will just pretty much render me useless. So yeah, it looks per factor system. Almost missed the fourth one under the monitor. There's another one under the oh my god. This man is in cat heaven. Goodness gracious. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Man, I would hate to be the person that cleaned that case though. Good lord, I'd die. I literally would not survive. I'd break out in hives and just pass out right next to the case in my own snot and eyes crying. My eyes would be watery and red. Like, yeah, no. That's the reason why I had to stop blowing out people's cases, man. You got to stop that because you'll get sick so quick, especially if you're allergic. Oh, my God. You'll blow out somebody's case and be half dead. And they'll see you in a pool of your own snot and tears and crying and your eyes are red and your face then broke out. Like, oh, you're okay? Like, no, I'm not okay. Look at me. I'm not even alive at this point. So yeah, that's adorable. But his case is crazy. I would never blow that case out, man. I would have a mask and everything. But nice build though. I mean, I think mostly I just see a bunch of cats in the keyboard, but sure, I think you may have a nice build. I can't even think of something fancy to say. That is perfect. Did anybody say that? No, I'll say it. I have to add a corny joke. Perfect. R. Yeah, I am one of the boys, I think. By putting perfect. Yeah, sure, whatever. That's what I would say to that guy. Dope PC, I guess. All right, so this one is a repeat. So this is from Stein 30586. Okay, I'm just gonna keep talking until I remember what his issue is. Bad CPU temps 90 degrees Celsius on a new PC build AIO. Okay. So this is the guy. Yeah. So this is the guy. What is happening is in idle he's at 30 degrees, and in most video games he's at 50. However, when he runs Prom 95, he's at 90. And then I replied with so, like literally, so question mark. And then I was like, okay, yes. So I mean, because that's not indicative of what you would actually be doing on a day-to-day basis. So you basing everything on Prom 95 is just not ideal. You're never gonna run it. You're never gonna run all your CPUs at max utilization ever. And I was waiting on a response back. So let's see what his response is. Yeah, he was asking for help. And I was like, why? If you only see high temps when running stress tests, that isn't indicative of day-to-day performance. And he said, thanks, I guess I did not expect to see these temps. And second, it has some load. Heck, I downloaded a game on Steam and got 60 degrees. And there's nothing I can do. I adjusted the fan curve to be quieter, but 60 is not a place I feel comfortable letting the fans run at low RPM. Well, 60 is a place I feel comfortable letting the fans run at low RPM. So I guess we are at an impasse. LOL. But seriously, you can try to reapply the thermal paste, or try a push-pull configuration, provided your case has the room. Provided your case has the room to allow it. You can also try to reapply the thermal paste, or try a push-pull configuration, provided your case has the room to allow it. That's about it. Or you can modify the fan curve some more. That's about it. Hope that helps, bro. And not a whole lot you can do here. You can reapply the thermal paste, you can go push-pull, or you can adjust the fan curve some more. But I don't know, man. I've never seen somebody just trip over 60 or 50 or 70. I mean, 80, there's a little bit of concern there. But, you know, if I see my graphics card hitting 80, it kind of depends. Like, for example, that small PC that I'll be showing y'all pretty soon, that small PC hits 80, 83 on the GPU on the XC3, but the XC3 normally runs hot, you know, and then the CPU hits somewhere around like 70 something, 74, 75. It may hit 80, but that's fine because it's a 3900X being cooled by a Noctua L9A with funnels. So, or like the funnel so that it actually gets more cooling. But that's, I mean, you know, that's pretty normal, especially a 3900X in eco mode. So, you know, I wouldn't worry about it too much, but you know, I understand that 90 degrees is a little bit spikier for you whenever you're running testing, but you know, those are the only real things you can do to try to fix the issue or get a bigger radiator. Like, I'm not about to sit here and be like, oh yeah, you got to get out a bigger radiator over something that could happen. I don't really think something that could happen could actually happen, because you're never going to hit that 90 degree, because you're never going to have your CPU at full 100% load. Even if you render, as long as you don't CPU render, you're fine. And even if you did CPU render, it doesn't take you to 100%. It takes you to like 60. So I just don't see yourself getting a real high percentage. I don't really see you going over 80, really. But, you know, I understand if you have some caution about it, but I'm not about to sit here and aid to it. You know, if you have caution about it and you decide to buy something else, or you decide to buy it in push-pull, then go ahead and do so. I'm just going to give you the option to do so and just call it a day. But that's kind of all you can do in that situation. All right, Stein, man, I hope I helped you, but I doubt I did. But yeah, that's not a whole lot more we can say about that, bro. I don't know. There's nothing that I can say to make you feel better. about you being at 50 on a video game. Like being at 50 is pretty normal. I just don't know any engineer or any technical support rep or any support person that would trip at 50 on a video game. Like that's pretty normal. That's okay. But I get it. You know, paranoia, it is what it is. And then Prime 95 at 100 or 90. It is what it is. But this is from Atso on Reddit. Atso writes, what time is it? 9:40. Okay, we're getting close to the end. We'll probably do a few more and then we'll just see where we're at. PC turns on but no display after installing a Wi-Fi card. Wow, I've never seen a Wi-Fi card kill a computer, but okay. Hi, hello. My PC was working pretty fine yesterday, but today when I installed my Wi-Fi card, my motherboard is giving me an orange light and I have no display. My mouse keyboard lights don't turn on. Already swapped RAM place, tried to boot with only one as well, removed Wi-Fi card, removed graphics card from slot. Only didn't push the cables from the graphics card, unplugged and plugged again some cables from the motherboard, forgot to mention every light inside the PC and every fan is spinning. Would be glad for any help and comments about this. I'm afraid it is a board problem. PC turns on but no display after installing Wi-Fi card. But today when I install my Wi-Fi card, my motherboard is giving me an orange light and I have no display. My mouse and keyboard doesn't turn on. Okay. Removed Wi-Fi card, removed graphics card. Well, what kind of CPU do you have? Does it have integrated graphics? If so, then remove the GPU and try to boot with the CPU to see if that gives you a picture. He never mentioned what kind of CPU he had, and he never mentioned if whenever he booted it, it stayed on. So forgot to mention every light outside my PC and every fan is spinning. Would be glad if I can get any help, but no display after installing Wi-Fi card. His computer may literally be on. He just has no earthly idea because his graphics card went out. So if that's the case, then go ahead and install integrated graphics to see if you get a picture. And we'll just go with that. That's a fair response. And a good one on this one here. I think he just may not. I think his graphics card actually went out. You may call it the Wi-Fi, but really it seems like your graphics card may have gone out. You can also try different inputs. Okay, so that's fair. So if we continue on, you can also try different inputs on the graphics card prior to swapping to CPU integrated graphics. Okay, save edit. Yeah, so I'll add it there. It's not really necessary because it's better to just let them figure out the whole GPU situation if they have integrated graphics, because if they have integrated graphics, then they already know what the problem is. They're already looking at the GPU. So, you know, trying different inputs, you know, you can keep trying that, but this right here will kind of point you in the right direction, and then you can just do this for funsies at that point. Alrighty, Atso on Reddit. I hope that helps. Okay. So Clear Ridge build. Ooh, it almost looks like an iMac with the ridge, but you don't want to stitch your monitor right there. Look at it. So his monitor is actually sitting on the ventilation of the graphics card. That's bad juju. You don't want to do that. Yeah. Oh, look at that. And he got his laptop there too. That's just, no. Don't ever do this, by the way. That's the equivalent of putting yourself in a closet. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Unless you want to let your aluminum chassis of your MacBook get hot, don't do that. Yeah. You may not want to put your laptop over the ventilation holes of the ridge. May make it difficult for your components to get air. Yeah, may not want to put your laptop over the ventilation holes of the ridge. May make it difficult for your components to get air. GPU is easy to fit in, but managing a PSU motherboard, besides those, the case is brilliant and looks great. It does. I know the thermals of this case aren't as good when it's on its side. Maybe a couple risers under the monitor will allow for more airflow. Exactly. In any case, this looks amazing. It does, but you know, what monitor's that by the way? It looks like an Apple, but doesn't see their logo on it. Yeah, it's the Apple Pro display. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty, but you don't want to do that. I was thinking about putting my monitor on top of my Ridge case, but was wary of the weight. Is it okay working for you? Don't do that. Don't do that. It's cute, but don't do that. Because, yeah, you don't want to do that, man. Like, I get without the laptop, it's a little bit easier because once it's like this and it's docked like this, it's okay. But you don't want to put your laptop over there and let it just go over all your ventilation. Well, okay, unless you don't have a graphics card, then it's okay. But if you have a graphics card, I wouldn't do that. It's too dangerous. It'll get too hot too fast. That chassis is metal. It'll get super, super hot. But overall, I mean, it's beautiful. I'll give you that. It is beautiful. I like how your like guitars and stuff. That's a pretty setup. It's small though, but it's really pretty. Oh, it's a standing desk too. Check it out. He has all the inputs and everything. Sweet, bro. Congratulations. Alrighty, so this is from Eastern Teacher 5997. Okay, that tastes way better than that trashy tea. Like that tea we're gonna have to talk about because that tea was awful. A problem with power saving mode. Okay, so posted in software. For the last 2 months, for no reason, my monitor has been going in and out of power save mode. I haven't changed anything, whether it be wires or RAM. However, this is no regular power save mode, as whenever it happens, it will say it's in power save mode for potentially weeks. Even if I unplug and plug it back in, nothing works except time. Does anyone know a potential root of the solution or problem? Yeah. Ah! What just happened? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. We were around here somewhere, right? Okay. Yeah. Change inputs on the monitor to see if that resolves the issue. Also in Windows, make sure you turn off sleep of the monitor by going to start, edit power plan, scroll to the bottom and turn off put monitor to sleep to see if this makes a difference. Yeah, change inputs on the monitor, see if that resolves the issue. Also, Windows, make sure you turn off sleep of the monitor by going to start, edit power plan, scroll to the bottom and turn off put monitor to sleep to see if that makes a difference. Yeah, that's what I would do. In this particular situation, I tried multiple inputs because it powering off and being powered off for a really, really long time, that definitely does not speak to something that is in Windows, but it does speak to something that could be like an input or a bad input or a bad detection of inputs. So I would say swap out the cable, swap out the input that you're using on the monitor and or the graphics card, and then go from there. So yeah, Eastern Teacher, that's what I would do. Keep us posted. We already looked at this guy, didn't we? Yeah, the gamer, the RTX 4090. Oh yeah, the reason why I'm here is because he gave me some good advice. He said, I was talking about the Gigabyte and the reference, and the models do not. The game where he listed seems even smaller than the Gigabyte now. Gainward RTX 4090. Yeah, this is a new one. I don't know if it's smaller than the Gigabyte. I don't think it is. The Gigabyte's super. Well, okay, it's not super, but oh, they're about the same size. Yeah, well, maybe it's a little bit. They're about the same size actually. So yeah, Gainware may be a little bit smaller. This is a new, I've never heard of GameWorks, so yeah, really appreciate it. Made theory crafting build. But any event, we were actually talking about this, and I was saying, hey, yeah, getting the 4090 and the Meshless is a giant pain in the butt. The Gigabyte version does fit with Shroud. However, I ran into the same issue as you, and essentially I had to flip it upside down and put the inputs at the top as they stuck out the bottom of the case. Great temps though. And he said, get Etsy 3D printed button. And I said, Etsy 3D printed button ordered, thanks. I'll actually look this up. So if you look this up here and search Google for it, not this one. And then I say Meshlicious, MESILICIOUS. This right here. You see how cool that is? So basically it's just a 3D printed bottom. And there's the black one, and the other one was the white one. So I ordered the white one because that is super clean. The black one would probably even be clean too, but I ordered the white one. But yeah, it's like a little bottom for 40 bucks. I was like, that's not bad. And it gives you enough height that you can actually put your cables in. Like it shows you in a picture. Yeah, right here. So this is exactly how mine looks. You see how the cables are kind of sticking? Or how close the cards are to the actual square right here. So now this gives you enough room that you can actually have your displays and HDMIs and everything like that coming out of the actual graphics card without taking up any space and forcing you to turn it upside down. So I ordered that, and hopefully that'll help. I'll show everybody when it comes in. But yeah, that was actually something positive that came out of that, just from me looking at other people's stuff. So yeah, that's what I would do here, Eastern Teacher. And okay, so this is a new one. So this is Joshy. What time is it? 9:52. Okay, so we'll do this one here and we'll finish up. Alrighty, so this is from Joshy0212. Joshy writes, would my CPU get damaged from this? It spikes to 106 degrees Celsius in Minecraft. Hey guys, I recently got Minecraft and I decided to turn on RTX. Performance is good around 60 to 80 FPS, but the problem is my CPU temps. GPU temps are expected around 80 degrees Celsius and I'm on my laptop, but the CPU temps average near 90 degrees Celsius, but for a second or two, it spikes to 100 degrees Celsius, sometimes reaching temperatures up to 106 degrees Celsius. And I was like, yeah, that's hot. I would say keep the laptop elevated or get a fan stand for it to sit on. That will blow air towards the bottom of the fan to keep the CPU cool. He said it is elevated, but not sure what to do about it. I mean, it's only Minecraft. Every other game is pretty fun, but Minecraft has high temps. Do you have... Can't you turn on ray tracing? Is that what he's talking about? I decided to turn on RTX. Performance is good. RTX. Do you mean that you turn on ray tracing in Minecraft? Do you mean that you turn on ray tracing in Minecraft? Ray tracing in Minecraft. What kind of GPU do you have? We've only talked twice. Who else is he talking to? Yo, who you talking to outside of me? I'm jealous like that. There better be no other engineers in this chat. That's all I'm trying to say. Who the heck is Woola Woola Woola? How you gonna sit here and let that? I thought we had something special. Sounds like Dodgy reporting of temps. If it spikes by 10 degrees, then back down again. Most modern CPUs and GPUs with thermal throttle would underclock if they got too hot. They would actually power themselves off, actually. If it got to 100, truly got to 100. Oh, yeah. Because, like, for example, the a lot of those CPUs, like 3900X, when it gets to like 96, it'll power itself off. Nope, I don't really see any performance drops. Oh, and it doesn't change clock speeds or anything. Also, performance doesn't drop. Could it just be the statistics being off? Also, should you know, I use MSI Afterburner. Sounds like it isn't throttling, which points to the numbers being inaccurate. I wouldn't worry about it too much about CPU damage. They are pretty good at protecting themselves these days when they get too hot. All right, thanks for the response. Yeah, I'd agree. I was gonna say something to him. Yeah. Do you mean that you turn on ray tracing in Minecraft? You mean that you turn on ray tracing on Minecraft? Also, you mentioned what happens if you lower your settings, does the GPU temp change in turn? This will let us know whether or not it's a false positive. So yeah, I'll keep on going with that. But yeah, do you mean that you turn on ray tracing in Minecraft? Because I think Minecraft does have the ability to turn on ray tracing. What happens if you lower your settings? Does the GPU temp change in turn? Because if it does, then that means that it may not be a false positive like the other person is saying or the other colleague is saying. So yeah, you know, it's a possibility that it could be something with just his ray tracing being turned on Minecraft and it not being able to handle it. But we don't even know what graphics card he's talking about. Yeah, he doesn't even, we don't even know a graphics card. Also, what GPU is this? Also, what GPU is this? Because he may say 2060, and I'd be like, oh, okay, well, there's your problem. So yeah. Alrighty, Joshie, I hope that helps. And it is time to end it. Okay, well, that's been a very productive day. So yeah, we'll just stop there, and I'm sure half these people will probably reply and tell me I broke their stuff. So nah, I doubt it. Alrighty, guys, it's been a pleasure. This was a good one. This was fun. So, and if you like this video, go ahead and like button. If you really like it, go to subscribe. I love you either way. Take care. All the best, and bye.